We are live for episode 124 of the Wise Guys podcast. I'm your host, Brandon Capozziello. Back with me for a second episode with us is Nick Perez from the Trophy Room podcast. Shout out them, shout out him, shout out that podcast. Go listen, go check it out. The links will definitely be in the description. We are here to bring you the NFL awards and Super Bowl predictions. The NFL season, Nick, is just a mere 4 days away, I believe. This Thursday. Things are pumping up. Week 1 is coming. Chiefs, Lions, I can't wait. That is going to be exciting. I'm telling y'all right now, smash the fucking over. Excuse my French. Smash the over on that game. But before we get into the topics of today, and before I hit you with a couple of quick little points that have happened, some big news that has happened over the past couple of days since I've last seen y'all. And first, housekeeping. Please, if you're watching the stream, give a thumbs up, like the video, subscribe, share the content on your social media, your friends and family. It's much appreciated. We love it very much. It helps us out, and we love you for it. We love you. Everybody loves love, so love. And definitely follow my boy Nick. Links in the description. Trophy Room podcast is going to be in the description. But let me ask you, Nick, how are you doing on this fine September 3rd, 2023 Sunday morning?
I'm doing great, man. Like you said, I'm really excited. This is the last Sunday without NFL football for the year 2023, and I'm like you said it. You said it yourself. I'm ready. I'm really excited for this year. A lot of things are going to change in the NFL. A lot of teams are going to be competing. It's just going to be a great year, man. I'm super excited.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I cannot wait. Football, I've always said this, and this is why they are the masters. The NFL is the best sport in the world, in my opinion. I know people mention soccer, but the NFL is the best because they make you wait. They make you want it. 17 games, all right? And then the season's over for, 6-7 months or so, February to basically September.
Something like that, yeah.
I've loved this quote from a guy that I've listened to a lot and learned a lot from, Mr. Jim Cornette, wrestling personality. If you're a wrestling fan, you'll know who that is. How can I miss you if you won't go away? The NFL has mastered that perfectly, and that's why you miss them so damn much, and you just are in a frenzy for it, and you look like you got rabies. But Nick, I'm going to ask you real quick. Are you, by chance, a fan of morning sports talk shows, per se, Undisputed and or First Take?
I actually am. So, like, when I really started to, not really get into the podcast world, but, really start to broaden my range when it came to sports, I definitely watched a lot of Stephen A.
Yes.
And I used to be like, oh, yeah, Stephen A's right. Stephen A said this. But when I started watching myself, I started doing my own things. I started watching other people. Stephen A be chatting. Stephen A be chatting. And then, guys are undisputed, too. Shannon Sharp is great. Skip Bayless is a little out there, but he has his moments. But
So I don't know if you've heard the news and stuff. So Shannon's going over to First Take. Yeah. That actually starts tomorrow. Mm-hmm. And Skip has just debuted his new Undisputed show with Keyshawn Johnson, Richard Sherman, and Michael Irvin. Just to name a few. Those are the big names, right?
I didn't know Michael Irvin was there because I know Michael Irvin was on First Take.
Yes. And then the controversy, the bullshit controversy that's going on with Michael Irvin, where the stupid video he's seen with a woman for 45 seconds. They have a conversation, maybe shakes her hand, and now he's all of a sudden up for investigation, and there's no other evidence that has been put out. So he lost his job at ESPN. The NFL Network hasn't had him on since, but Undisputed has him on. So Michael Irvin, Keyshawn, and Richard Sherman are all with Skip. I don't know if you remember the clip from with Richard Sherman and Skip from almost 10 years ago, where Richard Sherman kind of came at him hard.
I actually think I remember
Remember
that.
where he was like, "I'm better at life than you, Skip." He just went
Yes,
complete.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So that was one appeal of why people would watch. But yeah, so I'm excited for it. The new Undisputed, the first day was a little funky because it's a lot of personalities. I mean, Skip Bayless, Keyshawn Johnson, Richard Sherman, and Michael Irvin all at a round table.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of personalities going around and a lot of
Yeah.
so it took a little getting used to. I think they've gained their stride now. I think it's actually going to be a really fun show. They need to find a basketball personality or analyst to go against Skip when the basketball season starts. But
Yeah, because when it comes to basketball, Skip be out of pocket.
And they need to find a LeBron guy. They need to find a LeBron guy because that's what it is. You want to match him up perfectly where Skip is going to be the antithesis of LeBron is this, and then you get like a Shannon Sharp per se.
Yeah.
And Shannon Sharp will be joining Mr. Stephen A. Smith on First Take tomorrow.
It's going to be great.
Yep. They just released on Club Shay Shay podcast with Stephen A. and Shannon Sharp, a little prelude to, I guess, what you're going to be seeing. I'm excited for that. The LeBron MJ debates are going to be great there too, because Shannon rides for LeBron and Stephen A. is dead set on Michael Jordan. But one thing I'm hoping for that is I hope Shannon is in studio a lot more because I hate the the on screen. It ruins the chemistry with them, especially. Yeah. So I just wanted to mention that. And then next up, big news. I know you tweeted about it, so I know you know what's going on. Colorado is going prime with time. Now, I'm very pissed off, but for different reasons, because Brandon looked at the odds Friday night, plus 650 for Colorado to win. I looked at it. Now, looking at it ain't doing shit, right? You can look at it all you want. You didn't touch it. I didn't do anything with it. Mm-hmm. But I definitely looked at it. And it really made me angry when the outcome of the game was 45-42. So, Nick, tell me your thoughts on Colorado taking down the number 17 ranked TCU.
17. So, I'm not going to lie. When I was looking through my channels, I saw TCU Colorado. And when I saw that, I was like, Coach Prime debut. I don't know. I'll probably tune in around halftime. When I tell you, after the first quarter, I saw the tweets. I was like, nah, I got to tune in now because this is crazy. I'm watching the game. 2 words. Travis Hunter. That kid is so great. He's literally primetime 2.0. When you see the burst of speed he had we're talking about wide receiver. When you see the burst of speed he had, yes, he missed the 2 deep balls, but he has hands. He can catch the ball. He can beat his defender. He can create separation. Like, that was nuts. And then you watch him playing corner. He's all over guys. He's tapping the ball out your hand. He's in your space. He's in your face. And that diving interception was, oh my God.
I know it's crazy. So I didn't get to see the full game because I was working at that point. I'm very angry about that. But the game finally got turned on in the TV at my workplace. And literally right when it goes on, TCU has the ball. And I'm telling my coworker, I'm like, yo, Travis Hunter kid, he's a beast. He's already got an interception. And right as I say that, right after, it was a play where the quarterback throws it and Travis Hunter jumps the ball, almost has the pick, basically hands on ball, almost gets the pick. I think it was the third quarter. Mm-hmm. Almost gets the pick, and I'm just like, yo, speaking of his existence, this kid is special. Oh my God. You talk about the dual threat of playing receiver and cornerback. I mean, he is next level. Dion said it best. He is him. If he keeps playing like that, the Heisman's chilling at his crib waiting for him.
No, so what I liked what Dion said was that, we missed him on 2 deep balls.
Yes.
If his son throws him those 2 deep balls, adds to his yards, gets him 2 touchdowns or even a touchdown, that Heisman trophy is in his closet right now at home.
Yeah. It's listen, and Shador Sanders, he's killing it. He's possibly going to be a top 5 quarterback in this draft class, if not higher, if he continues to climb the ranks. We know Caleb Williams is the number 1 unheralded pick, but if he decides to come out, because he hasn't officially stated he wants to come out. But
And he looked great too in his
Oh.
debut later on in the day. I was watching that.
I mean, everybody's comparing him to Mahomes. I think it's a little much, but yeah.
Yeah, he had I think at halftime he had 250 or 260 yards,
So,
and I think he had like 2 or 3 touchdowns at halftime. And you know what's crazy? I was looking later on in the week. I mean, later on in the season, and they're playing each other.
Oh yeah.
So that's gonna be gonna be live prime time. It's gonna be so good.
Colorado at that point too, I believe, will be, because I think a lot of people are gonna, first off, you're not getting that plus 650 odds again after what just happened.
You missed out on a lifetime.
I'm very angry because they play Nebraska next week. Right now, Nebraska I think is favored by 9.5, but I wouldn't be surprised if the days start dwindling down. That number is going to dwindle. I'm taking Colorado to beat Matt Rule's Nebraska. I'll tell you that right now. But I wouldn't be surprised if Colorado is ranked at the time they play USC. It's going to be fun. Listen, this was a major topic on the, actually, speaking of what we talked about, the Undisputed show. Skip, big fan of Prime. Michael Irvin obviously played with Prime. He actually went and talked with Colorado. Sherm, friends with Prime. Keyshawn, friends with Prime. Everybody loves Prime. Everybody speaks highly of Prime. He's going to win a national championship with Colorado if he stays long enough. Because Keyshawn even said this. He said, listen, Deion said a couple months ago, NFL's not on my mind right now, right? Things start to change when it actually becomes reality, and an owner and a GM come to him and say, we want you to save our franchise. It's going to come. I love this saying from Skip too. He always says there's 2 people he doesn't bet against in sports. It's Dwayne Wade and Tom Brady. Ironically, it's my 2 favorite guys, right? But he also says somebody who doesn't bet against in life is Deion Sanders.
Yep.
Can't bet against that guy. Can't bet against that guy. Sky is the limit for these Colorado. Is it Bullfrogs? What is it?
Buffalo. I don't know.
Buffalo. Is it Buffalo?
I think it's Buffaloes.
Okay, we're gonna do.
That's crazy because I had a buddy of mine play their basketball. Shout out to him.
Yeah, it's Buffalo. Their logos are Buffalo. Yeah. Okay. All right. So all that out of the way, and shout out. I might speak on it later. CM Punk, he got fired from AEW, but he's coming.
Oh
back
yeah,
to
I saw that.
Yeah, he's coming back to WWE, so it's okay. Let's dive into the topics to today, Nick. We're gonna start with the NFL awards. Let's see if I can do this. Oh, that's bad. I don't like that. Okay. It's a new setup, everybody. I'm learning it a little bit more. We're going to get to it better. So yearly awards. Do you want to start with the main event, which would be the MVP, or you want to start with the smaller kind of awards?
We can start top to bottom.
T to B. All right. So I thought about this one, right, for a little bit, and I got a bunch of contenders in there. I know Justin will be back with us on Thursday. He's already given his prelude kind of to who he believes is going to be MVP. He's kind of, if you've clicked on the video, you see the thumbnail. It's Lamar Jackson with a 2-time. He believes Lamar Jackson is going to be MVP this season. He's one of the people that I believe is going to be in contention. If he stays healthy, Lamar is bound for a big season. But the guy that and just to name a couple, Aaron Rodgers, I think will be in contention. Burrow always, Mahomes always. Herbert with Kellen Moore, I think is going to be in contention. I just don't think they're going to have the wins for that. Dak, I think, is going to be in contention with those 2 new receivers he's got. Deshaun, I believe, can be in contention for that.
There's one name you did not name.
Who did I not name?
Is it Josh Allen?
Joshua?
Yes.
Oh, young Joshua.
Joshua Allen of the Buffalo.
I'm
not saying he's my pick, but the past couple years he's been up there.
Yes, he'll be in contention, sure. I've just been kind of lower on Josh Allen. I'm lower on Josh Allen than a lot of people. And I don't think if you think about it from where he was, right?
Mm-hmm.
AFC, it was AFC championship game, right? No, it was the divisional round where he lost 13 seconds, right, to Mahomes.
Yes.
From that point, right, everybody was like, oh, Josh Allen to the Super Bowl. The Bills to the Super Bowl is just bound to happen, right? Mm-hmm. It's just this is going to happen. And then what happened the next 2 years?
I mean, he played in the snow. Played in the snow.
Which one?
The one where this past year where they just played the Bengals.
Oh, the Bengals? Okay, yeah. That's what I mean. They came up short both years in a row.
That's true, yeah.
I just feel like Josh Allen and not even Josh Allen too, the Bills in general are kind of like going down. I don't know if you saw the predictions episode. I don't have the Bills making the playoffs this year. I have them finishing 10-7. I have them missing the playoffs because I have three.
It is a tough division, but I don't see them missing the playoffs.
Yeah, and perfectly fine. I mean,
I think that's a hot take.
I might if we go towards the hold on 1 second. Why the hell is no? Because I think
season starts next week. Dallas Gordon Hill season starts next week. Literally a week.
The Thursday, yeah. No, because I'm looking at. I got the stream pulled up on YouTube, and it still shows the NFL awards prediction thing in the middle of the screen, but it's not there. So.
Yeah, it shows it. It shows it here in front of me too.
Oh, it does?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
But it's not there.
I thought you left it up there.
No, I deleted it. Huh. Isn't that interesting? Oh, that sucks. I'm going to have to fucking figure this out, dude. I deleted it from the banner. Hold on. Let me.
It's all good.
Yeah, no, it's still there. Interesting. Okay, so. Reset position.
I think if you put it in the middle, it works.
Oh, I just moved it.
Yeah, you put it on your screen.
How come I can't see it though, but you can see it?
And he just left. Wow. I mean, it'd be like that, y'all. Life of a podcaster. Podcasting.
My bad, Nick.
Now you good?
We're working through it.
It's all good. You took it off. It's off.
It's off. All right. I just had to eliminate both of us from the stream for it to be off. A little technical difficulties. All right, we're gonna get back to it. So the Bills, what we were talking about, right? I'm never gonna ever do that again with the goddamn thing that I just did. We're never doing that again. I'm staying away from that forever. So with the Bills, I have them just having a down season this year because I see them being more stagnant this year, right? Still got Diggs. There's a little bit of rumors that there's, stuff going on there, but I like Kincaid, right? There's a lot of hype behind him to be a big time tight end, but Gabriel Davis, did he ever become the guy that a lot of people thought he was? No. The running backs, they still have not addressed that need. They still have not addressed that need.
They are in the hunt for Jonathan Taylor, I think.
Yeah, but John Taylor's not leaving the Colts anytime soon. He can't leave until the trade deadline now. So I just think the Bills are kind of stagnating right now, but we can get into that later on in the episode if we have time.
So before we end that, I do have to say one thing about the Buffalo Bills is that I understand 2 years ago, they didn't make it, but last year they lost a key piece. He got injured and he's still not playing yet. He's going to come back later on in the year. Is Von Miller. Von Miller is a huge X factor on that defense. Like the secondary in there is not bad. They have Poyer. They have a couple good corners. Like their defense is not bad. But when you lose a quarterback pressure like Von Miller, especially coming off of a Super Bowl with the Rams, you get him the next year. You start to look great earlier in the year, and then he gets hurt. Like that's a little.
It is tough, and I hear you, and I agree with you, right? But one thing I will say about Von Miller is that, and his injury too, it's a torn ACL.
Yeah.
What is he going to be when he does come back?
That's true.
He's also older now, and coming off a torn ACL, we all know as sports guys, sports fans, following this sports for a very long time. When you come off an ACL, it usually takes a year before you're back to what you were. And he's already into his early to mid 30s. So that's going to be even tougher ask. But definitely, because I did promise one of my coworkers, a Bills fan, that we would go through the schedule this episode. So I might go through the schedule real quick to kind of show you where I have the Bills going 10-7. Because if you follow along with me, I think you're going to see, okay, Brandon's not that crazy. It's just the other teams that I have making the playoffs that you might say I'm crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But MVP of the season. So I named those guys that I say in contention. Lamar is kind of my number 2 who's kind of in contention. But the number 1 pick that I have that's I believe is going to win MVP this season is a guy who is playing down in Florida. Mr.
Oh my!
Trevor Lawrence. No. I am Tua. Baker's better than Tua, Nick. All right. Tua ain't that dude. All right. Trevor Lawrence. That's a different discussion for another day.
Okay.
Trevor Lawrence, I believe, is bound to have a MVP season this year. The debacle that was the Urban Meyer season is gone and in the past forever now. Dougie P has come in and saved life.
Mm-hmm.
Dougie P honestly should have never been fired from Philadelphia, but they are on to greener pastures now with Nick Sirianni and the team that they have now.
Yeah,
Yep. So Dougie P changes culture in Jacksonville. You see it already last year. You see the comeback in the playoffs against the Chargers where they're able to beat them. Going toe-to-toe in the divisional round. Trevor Lawrence, I expect to have 4,500 plus yards. I expect 30 to 35 plus touchdowns. Similar type of interception, 8 to 11 this year. 60 plus completion percentage. But the major reason why, Nick, I'm saying I believe T-Law is going to make this big jump is one addition to the team.
I already know who you're talking about.
Mr. Calvin Ridley.
Mm-hmm.
Calvin Ridley is that true number 1 that T-Law has not had. He now has that. To go along with the Kirk, who's better served as a 2 or a 3. To go along with, who's the other guy that they got on that team?
The tight end and Evan Ingram.
Evan Ingram, yes, especially.
The running back and Travis Etienne.
I'm blanking on their third receiver because I think it might be Marvin Jones. Zay Jones. That's what it. Marvin Zay Jones. So you got Christian Kirk. You got Zay Jones. You got Travis Etienne, like Nick said. You got Evan Ingram, like Nick said, who has now officially made himself, who was on contention to be a bust.
Yes.
He's now in contention to be Pro Bowl caliber tight end with T-Law and Dougie P helping him out there. The offensive line is young and getting better. The defense is super young and has a lot of potential. I think that Trevor Lawrence with Calvin Ridley here, not coming off an injury, is bound for an MVP season. So I have Trevor Lawrence winning MVP this year.
I don't not see it. I definitely talked about Trevor Lawrence. I have Trevor Lawrence on my show. I talked about I think I had him as the 7th ranked QB going into next season. So I definitely see high hopes for Trevor Lawrence. Like you said, the firing of Urban Myers was huge. Getting Doug Peterson was huge. Everybody was talking about Trevor Lawrence was going to be a bust as a number 1 overall pick. And then, like you said, you bring in a guy from Philadelphia in Doug Peterson. And then you see the massive jump that Trevor Lawrence does. Like you said, came back in that playoff game, took the Jags to the playoffs, took the Jags to the second round after a terrible first half and 4 interceptions. Coming back and winning that game is huge. So I definitely see what you're saying. And I can't forget the big thing, like you said, adding the X factor in Calvin Ridley. Calvin Ridley was huge. And like you said, he didn't come in off an injury. He's coming off a suspension. So the kid is coming in. The kid is hungry. And, after last year, the success that they had, they definitely want that more. But I could say the same thing about my MVP pick, and that's Lamar Jackson. When you look at a guy like Lamar Jackson, he has the second best tight end in the world in Mark Andrews and the true number 1. You get a number 2 wide receiver in Odell Beckham Jr. Pray to God he stays healthy. You get J.K. Dobbins back, and I'm really high on this kid. You get a kid out of Boston College in Zay Flowers, who I think could really be a number 2 in this NFL. And you pray to God that Rashad Bateman gets healthy, and they have a good little receiving core in there. And we could see Lamar go for over 1,000 passing yards. Obviously, Lamar will get over 1,000 rushing yards. He'll have the TDs. I could see another MVP in his sight. It's literally in front of him, in my opinion.
So you agree with Justin? You believe that
Absolutely.
Lamar is going 2-time MVP this?
Absolutely.
Listen, I'm not going to disagree. I think even people that would pick Lamar as the MVP is their one precaution would be the injury concerns, right? Is he going to play a full season? I can see it. Listen, I'm high on OBJ. I'm high on Zay Flowers. You got Perryman there.
Mhm.
You got Andrews, who I think is the fourth best tight end, but I guess we're splitting hairs there. I got Kittle and
Fourth?
Waller. I got Kittle and Waller over them. Waller over him.
We can have that
We're
discussion
gonna have
another
that
day.
another day. J.K. Dobbins is there. You got the culture with John Harbaugh and the Baltimore Ravens. The defense is top notch.
Mhm.
But and again, I have him number 2. I just think the injury concerns with him. Where as T-Law, I don't think the injury concerns are there. This big kid, 6'6", getting bigger, growing into his man body.
Mhm.
But listen, I like the pick for Lamar Jackson. So Nick has Lamar Jackson taking home his second MVP, and I have Trevor Lawrence in his 3rd season in the NFL winning Most Valuable Player. Next up, Coach of the Year. So I'm going to throw this one to you, Nick, first. Who do you have winning Coach of the Year this year?
This might be a little biased. People might say I'm biased for this one, but I gotta go with Robert Saleh. With the additions that we have in Aaron Rodgers, Alan Lazard, the emergence of Garrett Wilson, the not even emergence, he's here already in Sauce Gardner. And with the schedule that we have the hardest schedule in the NFL as the New York Jets. If we can come out with the first year personnel that we have, everybody talking about, oh, the Jets won't be good this year, they'll be good next year or the year after that. We have Aaron Rodgers for a good couple years. If we can come in this year with this tough schedule, come out top of the division, we have a top 10 offense, we have a top 3 defense as always. We can keep, we have guys on the defensive end, like I said, Sauce Gardner, DJ Reed, CJ Mosley, Quinnen Williams, who don't get me wrong, he could be in that line for a defensive player of the year next to Micah Parsons. A little sneak preview for later. But if we can keep it, like I said, we can keep a top 10 offense, a top 3 defense, the emergence of Garrett Wilson. I think Robert Saleh could win that Coach of the Year, especially because last year we had really bad quarterback play, and we had a lot of one-score games. We couldn't score the ball. But then now, if we get a high-powered offense, we keep that great defense. I think Robert Saleh could win Coach of the Year.
So you're on the Saleh train. You're going full ride with there. So do you have? Here's a quick question. Do you think Rodgers will finish in top 5 for MVP, or do you think?
I think the only reason he would finish top 5 is because of our record.
Okay.
I think he'll still be able, like Aaron Rodgers will finish top 5 in yards. He'll finish probably top 5, top 10 in touchdowns. And because like I said, you have an emergence in Garrett Wilson. Garrett Wilson hungry. You have a good number 2 in Alan Lazard. We still questioning the number 3 and the tight end position, but you have a running back in Breece Hall. You got a number 2 running back in Dalvin Cook. Like, they're talking about we can get Mike Evans at the trade deadline.
No. Okay, now you're smoking the grass, buddy, and you need to come back to reality. Snap back to reality.
I won't even get into Mike Evans yet, but if you look at the things around Aaron Rodgers, like besides having a number 1 wide receiver in Devontae Adams, this might be like some of the best receivers he's played with. Obviously, like I said, besides Devontae Adams, I'm talking about as a core, period.
I would disagree with that, but I don't know if you're very familiar with his early years in Green Bay. When he was first in Green Bay, I mean, we're talking this guy had Greg Jennings, Jordy Nelson, Randall Cobb. Donald Driver,
I can't
James
forget about
Jones.
Jordy Nelson.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
These guys, he has been blessed with a lot of talent, but I hear you. Because they are talking about Garrett Wilson, and he has got that moniker next to him in special. We'll see. My coach of the year, I have a couple in contention, right? I think Stefanski is going to be in contention because of where I have the Cleveland Browns finishing this year.
Yeah,
I think
Mike high.
Huh?
You have them high.
I have the Cleveland Browns being the number one team in the AFC. Yeah, tied with the Bengals. Yeah. Mike McCarthy will be in contention, but that's because I have the Cowboys finishing with the best record in the NFL. But the two guys that I'm kind of more high on would be DC, Dan Campbell, coming in finishing in second, or I could easily see him finishing in first because I have the Lions being the number one team in the NFC North this year. But who I'm going to go with, because I think he's going to, I think because of what he is going to do this year, how he's going to flip the script for this team, I think he's going to get the nod. I think Sean Payton is going to win Coach of the Year this year. I have the Denver Broncos finishing 12-5 this year. Yep. I have the Denver Broncos because this is why. Because I believe Sean Payton is going to come in and revitalize Russell Wilson back to what he once was. He's already given a snippet of what the offense is going to be. It's going to not be let Russ cook. It's going to be a lot of what he did in Seattle. Bootlegs, play actions, hand the ball off, rollouts. That is what it's going to be for Russell Wilson. Now, it sucks for that team because they've already lost two of their three best receivers. Tim Patrick cannot get on the field, and I feel so sorry for that man. I think this is 3 straight years he has damaged his knee. Jerry Jeudy, hamstring. Even when he comes back, players, athletes will tell you once a hamstring starts to cramp up or whatever, or strain or whatever the case may be, you're going to be dealing with that for the rest of the year. Basically, it's a ticking time bomb. You got Cortland Sutton. Dulage came on strong last year, but I think Sean Payton changed his life. And I will say this though, Nick. My prediction for the Broncos depends on Sean Payton bringing Russell Wilson back from the dead, basically. But I will say this full clarity. If he's unable to do that, and Russ looks like what he looked like last year, the conversation is going to need to be had. Russell Wilson is washed up. That's the conversation that needs to be had. So I will say full disclosure of that, but I'm going to put my faith in Sean Payton. I'm going to put my faith in Russell Wilson that they are going to bounce back and have a big season for the Denver Broncos. They're going to the playoffs. Sean Payton is my coach of the year this year.
I like it.
You like it. I know you don't really like it because you're Raiders. You love the Raiders, but
nah. But when we talk about, listen, you made a valid point.
Yeah.
Like the biggest offseason, talking about the Denver Broncos, like the biggest thing they did in the offseason was bringing in Sean Payton.
That might have been the biggest acquisition.
Exactly. So like you said, you bring in a guy like Sean Payton
besides Rodgers, obviously.
Yeah. Who you bring in a guy like Sean Payton, that football mastermind who can really turn around that Denver Broncos team. So that's huge. If he can, after what they did last year, if he can turn them into even just a playoff team, maybe even second in the division, he could win Coach of the Year.
Yeah, that's really what I see. Because with it's the Chiefs division, and I know when I did my predictions episode, I had the Broncos and Chiefs finishing with the same record, but the way it panned out in the schedule predictor, the Broncos finished with as the number one seed, number one in the AFC West. But I will say that's simply because I had the Chiefs losing a game to the Raiders in Vegas, and I could easily see the Chiefs winning that game. That's pick the pie. Fine, the Chiefs win that game, they go 13-4, and I know you're like but but I'm just saying, with the Broncos, it goes like this, right?
So you have the Chargers coming in third.
I have the Chargers going 10-7, but missing the playoffs. And the reason I have the Chargers, the reason I have the Chargers finishing there is because, listen, the offense is there. And I believe Kellen Moore I have Justin Herbert in MVP contention, but I don't have him winning because I don't think the record is they're not going to make the playoffs, and you're not winning MVP, not making the playoffs. He's going to have a much better, I think Justin Herbert will have the best season of his career under Kellen Moore. Keenan Allen is going to be healthy. Mike Williams is going to be healthy. You got Austin Eckler, who's one of the best receiving backs in the league, if not the best. The offensive line hopefully is going to be, I think Rashawn Slater is going to be healthy this year. He's going to have the best season of his career because if you look at Dak Prescott and Kellen Moore over those years, they had the number 2 yardage behind only the Chiefs in their duo-ship. So that guy knows how to cook up offense. The only concern with the Chargers is Brandon Staley. I'm sorry to say, but he deserved to lose his job last season. He did. That's an embarrassment. That's an embarrassment what happened. Everybody and their mother is looking at the Chargers and saying, God damn it, that team is stacked with talent. Stacked. Especially after last season with the additions of J.C. Jackson. I know he's dealing with injuries. Khalil Mack, those additions. But everybody looked at it and said, the one thing that'll hold them back is their head coach, Brandon Staley. Is he the guy? And that can't be the question. So if they fail again, which I think they're going to come up short again, Brandon Staley has to go. Now, Justin, my co-host, said that he believes Kellen Moore is going to get the job. I don't like that because I don't think Kellen Moore is good for a head coaching job. I think he's just more of an OC. But then again, you bring in a big-time head coach. Is he going to want to get rid of Kellen Moore? Now that's a little – the Chargers are kind of just all – they made a bad decision. They should have fired Brandon Staley and really went after Jim Harbaugh. That's who they should – or Sean Payton. Those are the guys they should have went after. Sean Payton, that offense, goddamn. Whew, that would have been nasty. So now let's move. So I have Sean Payton and you have Mr. Robert Saleh. You're riding the New York Jets train. I love it. It's okay. You know, you guys need to have your.
I'm on the flight, baby. I can't
listen.
I'm on the flight. I can't wait to land in the Super Bowl. That's all I'm
doing. I can't wait to get to that predictions. Offensive player of the year, Nick. Now, I got 3 guys that I think are going to be in contention. But then again, there's so many contentions for this because there's so many elite players in skill positions. I'm going to pick Tyreek Hill to win it this year. And I think I picked him last year. I'm going to do it again. I believe Tyreek Hill is the biggest difference maker in the NFL. I think because of that, I have to put Tyreek Hill as the best receiver in football. Because he has something that no other receiver possesses, and that is game-breaking speed. Now, you add that with a guy who has worked very hard on his route running and his abilities as a receiver and developed those. He might not be as great as a Devontae Adams or a Justin Jefferson or Jamar Chase or Cooper Kupp in those categories, but he's gotten very good at them. And even if he's just a B+ or an A- at those categories, while everybody else is at A and an A+, he's got an A++ speed, which makes those other categories, Nick, A+ in and of itself because of that speed.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's why I have Tyreek Hill as the offensive player of the year. Other guys in contention, Nick, I got Justin Herbert. Like I've spoken ad nauseum. I think he's just going to have the best season of his career. And Dameon Pierce. I think he's going to be a lead tailback for the Texans. And I think he missed 4 games and he almost had 1,000 yards, 4 or 5 games. And I think he's just going to be bound to have a bigger season because they're going to lean on him a lot more to, obviously make things easier for CJ Stroud.
Sure, yeah.
Who you got for offensive player of the year, Nick?
So you want the obvious pick or you want the dark horse pick? I'll give you both.
Give me the obvious and then hit me with the dark horse.
I got you with the obvious. It's gonna be Justin Jefferson, in my opinion, because when you look at yes, you get a number 2 in oh my God, who's the rookie they just drafted?
Jordan Addison.
I think he's gonna have a great year. Mm-hmm. When you look at a number 2 in Jordan Addison, they just re-signed TJ Hawkinson to that big contract. Those guys are great and all, but Kirk and Jettas are like this. And you saw it in the Bills game. You saw it all last year. You throw Jettas that ball, Jettas is catching it 9 times out of 10, wherever that ball is. Wherever that ball is. Jettas is catching the ball. Jettas is scoring the ball. Jettas is grittying on the court, on the field, in the end zone every other play. and my dark horse pick, we talking about QBs winning offensive player of the years. This is just a dark horse. A lot of people might kill me for it, but I have a Chicago Bears agenda. I got Justin Fields as my dark horse winning offensive player of the year. His running ability is insane. We were just talking about Lamar Jackson. I think it goes Lamar, Jalen Hurts, and Justin Fields is a close second. But when you give Justin Fields a number one and DJ Moore, it's definitely going to open up the passing game for him. You have DJ Moore. You have Chase Claypool, who's better fit as a number two. You have a tight end in Cole Kmet, who's been one of Justin Fields' favorite targets. So if Justin Fields can add to his legs and open up his passing game, I don't see why he can't be on pace with Lamar's numbers. Like if Lamar can get like 5,000 yards is crazy. Like 4,000 yards passing, 1,000 yards running, why can't Justin Fields get like 35 passing and like close to 1,000 rushing? Like that's huge. We talk about future quarterbacks in the league.
Yeah, you ask why can't he, right? Let me answer that for you, Nick. It's simple. Because not everybody is Lamar Jackson. Not everybody is Cam Newton. Not everybody is a Michael Vick. I know those guys didn't do it, but I'm just saying, right? That's Lamar Jackson's company. Mm-hmm. And I know everybody's super high on Justin Fields. You are not alone, my friend. A lot of people are. I'm somebody who likes to kind of be in reality, right? And not think about, okay, I'm looking at Jalen Hurts. I'm looking at Lamar. I'm looking at Cam. I'm looking at Josh Allen, per se. I'm looking at all those guys. I'm saying, well, man, look at those guys. They did it. They did it, right? Mm-hmm. Why can't Justin Fields do it? I love that, glass half full mentality, right? And I'm not being a pessimist per se. I'm just being, not everybody is those guys. Mm-hmm. There's a reason those guys are those guys. I'd like to see Justin Fields become that, right? Because if I'm not mistaken, Lamar in his second year was MVP. Cam Newton came into the game 1 and game 2, 400 yards plus, first time a rookie had ever done that. And he had question marks about his throwing, and he still had question marks throughout his entire career. He
won an MVP. He took the team to the Super Bowl.
But the passing questions were valid because he was never an elite passer of the football. He was very good, but he was never elite. So that's why I say Justin Fields. I'm like, I hear you on that. Why can't he? I just say not everybody are those guys. And some guys are going to come up short. And I will always say this too. You look at that draft class, 2021, right? That was T-Law, Zach Wilson, Mac, Trey, Fields, right? T-Law is going to hit. We all agree on that, right?
Yes. T-Law's already here.
Okay. Trey Lance is a bust. I'm going to go. Yeah, he's done. I hate to say that, but it is what it is. And this is where the point I'm getting to, right? Zach Wilson, done. I think we can agree he's done, right? Too. Mac Jones, still some to see. You see,
he's a solid starting quarterback.
Exactly. You see that. You see a potential of a Kirk Cousins as his peak, right? Right.
Yeah, I see it.
Could be top 10 if he could just elevate maybe more, but will always be 11, 12, 13, right? That's where Matt could be. And then you got Mr. Justin Fields. You look at the history of hits, on quarterbacks in the draft. Not everybody's going to hit. So I just think the odds are not in the favor of most guys, and that's just the game of life, to be honest with you. The odds are never always in your favor, and that's just what it's going to be. So if I'm a gambling man, Justin Fields is going to be the one guy, and Trey Lance with Zach Wilson that are not going to hit, and that's just it is what it is sometimes. I
don't know, man. I think Justin Fields will probably be the second best QB in that draft.
Okay, so you think he's going to be –
I think he'll be better than Mac Jones.
Okay.
I think –
Do you think Mac will ever reach his full potential?
No.
Okay.
I think the reason why we look at Mac the way he is now is because of look at who's on the sideline telling him what to do.
Yeah.
It's Bill Belichick.
Yeah.
So
but he's got Bill O'Brien now.
Yeah, that too. You look at Mac, like he's the way he is because he's doing it the Patriot way. I
Yes.
think if he was to go anywhere else, we would not see the Mac Jones we see today.
Okay.
I'm not a hater.
You think he's system quarterback is what you're saying?
110%.
Okay.
I look at Mac Jones like I like the Kirk Cousins comparison.
Yeah.
I think right now he's more of like he can get to Kirk Cousins.
That's his peak, is what I'm saying. Yeah,
I think Kirk Cousins could probably be his ceiling.
Yes.
But I think right now he's more of like a Jimmy Garoppolo.
That's fair. But he can be healthy, I think.
Yes, exactly. He could be a healthy Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yeah. With Justin Fields, I guess you're predicting
Justin Fields could be that guy.
Okay.
He could be that.
So do you think T-Law is the number one? Yes. He's not okay, and then you're big on
that already.
I hear you, and I see the potential there with Justin Fields. Trust me, the running ability is there. The man is 6'3", 230 plus, right? He's an animal, right? I just think the passing ability needs to develop, and not everybody is going to be a Jalen Hurts, Lamar, Josh Allen type. But moving on to Defensive Player of the Year, Nick. I've got my number one. There's a couple. Easy. Yeah, okay. So maybe we're going to agree. There's a couple that could be, right? TJ Watt, Bosa, either Bosa, honestly, you could throw in there.
Yeah.
And Sauce. I'll throw Sauce some love too.
I think Sauce has one more year.
Yeah, he'll be in contention.
One more year.
Yeah. My pick is the pick I had last year, and I think he gets it this year, is Mr. Micah. 11 from heaven, as they call him. Micah Parsons is going to win Defensive Player of the Year this year.
Absolutely.
He wore out a little bit towards the end of the year last year. That's because he was doing a lot. He's gonna add a little more muscle and get into a little bit more of a body frame, but he's got that stupid burst of speed. He's got the quick hands, the quick moves. Micah is a special talent, so I'm going to go with Micah as Defensive Player of the Year.
So I actually have the same pick as you, but, just to be a little bit different, just to talk about the Cowboys real quick, I do have Micah Parsons winning Defensive Player of the Year. Micah Parsons, when you look at that defense, you have Trayvon Diggs, you have Micah, and then you add, I understand he's older, but he's still a premier corner. You add a guy in Stephon Gilmore.
Premier corner. You got Leighton Vander Esch. You got Lawrence for DeMarcus Lawrence.
Exactly.
Draft Mozzie Smith in the first round. You've got these guys.
They're going to be, if not one, a top 3 defense in the league.
They were top 5, top 3 last year. Exactly. Now you add Stephon Gilmore to that.
Exactly. And Stephon Gilmore doesn't even have to guard the number 1s. He has to guard the number 2s, which is not as much as he had to do. So
before you get to your defensive player, I just want to say, and I've been saying this for the last couple of days, my barber is actually a Dallas Cowboys fan, and then one of my coworkers is a Dallas Cowboys fan. I said this, I am praying the Dallas Cowboys beat the ever-loving shit out of the New York Football Giants on Sunday Night Football, and I believe it's going to happen. Rude awakening.
I think it's going to be bad too. I have the Cowboys winning that. But now, when you look at the Cowboys overall, the Cowboys have high expectations this year. You add in a number 2 in Brandon Cooks. You have the emergence of CeeDee Lamb as a number 1. You give Tony Pollard the full reign with no Zeke. And we all know what he did as a number 2.
Yep. So,
but my dark horse, not really dark horse, to win Defensive Player of the Year. If he can stay healthy, he was an All-Pro last year.
Mm-hmm.
He was one of the best guys last year. It's Quinnen Williams.
Quinnen
Williams is going to be huge. Like I just said about the Cowboys. When you look at the New York Jets, they were a top 3 defense last year. That's because of Sauce, Quinnen, and DJ Reed.
Yep.
Why, if Quinnen Williams can stay healthy this year, just about as much as he did last year, why can't Quinnen Williams be up there in sacks, be up there in Defensive Player of the Year votes? He could really, like I said, if the Jets go through this tough schedule, we can get a lot of awards on that team. But I mean, as much as I love Quinnen, I think Micah's gonna win DPOY.
Yeah. No, listen, I hear you. To Quinnen Williams, again, a lot of praise from a lot of people, right? From Bama, comes from a great system. He just had his best season basically last year with 12 sacks.
Yep.
He just keeps if he keeps upgrading that pass rusher, because to get the Defensive Player of the Year award, Nick, you got to have the numbers in the sacks department, right? Nobody's going to look at a run stopper and give you Defensive Player of the Year because that's hard to calculate in terms of numbers.
And the same thing with corners. If they win, they got to have the interceptions.
Yep.
Which is why I think Sauce will win it next year.
Yeah, Sauce is more of a Revis and I don't really listen. The interceptions are great and all. They're a great cherry on top, whipped cream. But dude, if you know you can break the pass up, just break the pass up. Exactly. Like if you feel like there's like just an inch or a centimeter of you like, oh, I can miss this interception, but you know for a fact if I get one hand on the ball, he's not catching, just break the pass out. What's the difference?
It's so much easier.
Yeah. It's a skill, but it's also something you're kind of born with too. That next level instinct of being able to jump. A Trayvon Diggs, an Asante Samuel, a Travis Hunter, as we saw in college. That's a different level too. But like I said, it's a cherry on top type thing. All right, let's get to the rookies. We'll go because there's 3 rookie awards apparently now, right? There's Rookie of the Year, Offensive Rookie of the Year, and Defensive Rookie of the Year. For me, Rookie of the Year, flat out, I think is a lot of people's I'll go Bijan Robinson. A lot of people are projecting this guy is going to be the next it kid at running back. So you add him to that Atlanta Falcons offense. He's going to be the lead tailback there. He's going to get a lot of love, especially with helping Ritter out, because Ritter, I don't think he's going to be the guy. So they're going to be handing the ball off a lot more and getting a lot of checkdowns and whatnot. So I got Bijan Robinson winning Rookie of the Year, and spoiler alert, I kind of have Bijan Robinson winning Offensive Rookie of the Year, but I know they don't usually do that. So
yeah,
give Offensive Rookie of the Year to a Jahmyr Gibbs or a Zay Flowers. That's what I'm thinking right now.
Okay. My Rookie of the Year, like I understand like the hype around Bijan. He's gonna be the focal point of that Atlanta Falcons team. Him and Kyle Pitts, Drake London. But for me, Rookie of the Year always goes to a quarterback, and I have to go with CJ Stroud.
Okay.
CJ Stroud of the Carolina Panthers.
No, no.
No, Houston.
Yeah, Houston.
No,
Bryce is
Carolina. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Wow, I just had a brain fart. I think I'm okay. So
Bryce Young. You're Bryce
Young will win offensive.
Okay, here we go.
Rookie of the Year. Oh my God, I can't speak today. Bryce Young will win Rookie of the Year. Because if you look at the tools around him, you add a running back in Miles Sanders, you get a guy in Adam Thielen, and like I just think Bryce Young he's that kid. Like I understand the hype around CJ Stroud. I think he's going to be a great quarterback in himself. But if you look at a team that could make a little bit of noise now, is Bryce Young and the Carolina Panthers.
Okay.
And then Offensive Rookie of the Year, I'm actually going to pick somebody else. I think he'll have a slow start because he's coming off an injury, but he'll get a lot more touches toward the end of the year as JSN of the Seattle Seahawks. I think it's Jackson Smith and Jigba. That's how you say his name. That kid is the best wide receiver in this class. As much as we love Zay Flowers, Jordan Addison out of Minnesota, that kid is so good. When you talk, where did he go to college? LSU? I'm trying to remember where he went to college.
I'll look it up real quick. I'll look it up for you.
Yeah. So they were talking about when JSN was in college, he played next to a bunch of premier wide receivers. Oh my God.
Ohio State.
Thank you.
The Ohio State.
When he played at the Ohio State, he was playing next to guys like Garrett Wilson. And there was another wide receiver that he was playing next to. And they were still talking about when he was younger that he was the better wide receiver of those guys. And now he's in the NFL. You have an aging Tyler Lockett. You still have number one in DK Metcalf. I'm not taking that away from anybody. And then you just have an injury. You just have an injury in Kenneth Walker. I don't know when he's supposed to come back. But even though JSN has a little bit of a wrist injury, they said he'll probably come back week 3.
Yeah.
Like I said, you have an aging Tyler Lockett. if Tyler's getting like tired, his old age, can't really run the routes like that, why can't JSN take those touches?
Good.
Let the young kid go.
Mm-hmm.
I think he'll probably be offensive rookie of the year.
Okay. Let him loose. A little OBJ type coming in later into the season and
I'm
still
saying.
winning the award.
Yeah.
All right. For defensive rookie of the year, I'm gonna be honest, this is an award I struggle with because I just the defenders don't get super duper love.
Yeah, they really don't.
I'm gonna pick defensive rookie of the year, and it's because I believe the Detroit Lions are going to be winning. So I think he's going to get a lot of love and a lot more attention than a lot more other guys. I believe it's going to be Jack Campbell, and especially because that Detroit Lions defense, not a lot of big names there. You got Aiden Hutchinson.
And that's really about it.
Yeah, you got Gardner Johnson, who they added from the Eagles
yes,
too.
From the Eagles.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So those are the big guys. So Jack Campbell come in there at linebacker and really make a big name for himself. I know there's been a lot of hype around him in training camp and preseason, speaking real big about him. So I'm going to pick Jack Campbell simply because I believe he's going to play very well, but I also think the Lions are going to be winning, and he's going to get a lot of love that way. So I got Defensive Rookie of the Year, Jack Campbell.
So I'm not going to lie to you. I also have Jack Campbell written down because of the major leap that the Lions are going to take. I think the Lions are going to take a big leap. You have a quarterback management guy in Jared Goff. You have him and Aiden Hutchinson on the other side.
Yes.
You have a number one wide receiver in Amon-Ra St. Brown. You have a guy in who's the running back? They just added
Jahmyr Gibbs.
Jahmyr Gibbs.
Yep.
No. Who's the? They just got rid of Swift. Who's the other guy they got?
No, they got rid of Jamal Williams too.
Yes. Oh, I forgot he's a Saint now.
Yeah, Jahmyr Gibbs, their first round pick, and they got David Montgomery from
and David Montgomery. So like, I understand David is a little older, but when you look at that Detroit Lions team, they were top. Jared Goff was what, top 5 in yards last year? They had a top 5 offense.
They were the number one scoring offense, I think, for multiple weeks, several weeks.
Exactly. So like when you have a team like that, and everybody focuses on like they can make some noise in the NFL if they have a better defense. So when you add a guy like that, Campbell next to Aiden Hutchinson, I think they're gonna be the two focal points of that defense. Mm-hmm. So then he's gonna get all the shine in the world when it comes to rookies.
Yes. So final award. This one is gonna be a little near and dear to my heart, and I'm about to pump the energy up to 11 here, Nick. I've been riding with it, and here we go. Comeback Player of the Year is going to be one Mr. Baker Mayfield of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. All right?
Oh, God.
Listen to me. Let me talk to y'all real quick.
I'm listening. Right? I'm listening.
You got a guy that you want really bad in Mike Evans, who's going to get a 10th season in a row going 1,000 yards. Chris Godwin coming off the torn ACL season 2 years ago. He's now a year removed. He's going to be back to what he once was. Rachaad White showed a lot of shine last year. He's going to be better as the lead vocal running back for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The offensive line is getting reshuffled. Wirfs is going to left tackle. Jensen is going to retire, which sucks for him. But that offensive line is getting retooled, and I believe it's going to be better. A lot of hype around David Callis, Richard Sherman, who played for him when he was back in Seattle as the quality control guy or something like that for the Seattle Seahawks, helping out Russell Wilson. He's going to make it a lot easier for Baker. I believe Baker is bound to have a bounce-back season this year. I know Todd Bowles it could hold them back, but I think Todd Bowles, with that pressure away from him of Tom Brady now, I think he's going to settle back in. I think he's going to be a lot better this year. Baker Mayfield is going to lead the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to the playoffs, the number one team in the NFC South. He's going to look like that year 3 Baker, which is the real Baker. Don't give me last year where Carolina was shit. And then you want to talk about the LA Rams. You want to talk about what he did to your Mr. Raiders, Nick, okay? Where he walked in on 48 hours notice, didn't know the playbook, Thursday night football.
And one off a drive. That was crazy.
98 yards. That's NFL history. That's the longest drive in NFL history for a game-winning touchdown. Baker Mayfield did that in 48 hours notice. You want to know what his best weapon was on that? You pick your poison of Van Jefferson or Tyler Higbee. Okay? Yeah, he did that. And the Raiders were coming off a three-game winning streak too.
We needed that win so badly.
Yes. Baker, people are going to respect Baker this year, and they're going to see the Baker that I see, which is a top 15, top 16 quarterback, and can get better and much better when he's got the stability around him. Baker Mayfield is comeback player of the year.
So when it comes to comeback player of the year, I have a lot of guys in mind. I actually considered Baker. I actually liked Baker when he was in Cleveland. He was a good quarterback, brought the Browns to the playoffs, all that. I thought about my guy Breece Hall after the injury. You know, I wanted him to come back this year with a vengeance, because if Garrett Wilson didn't win it, Breece Hall was winning Offensive Rookie of the Year last year.
Tough.
But as high as you are on this team, I'm surprised you didn't pick him. I got Deshaun Watson winning comeback player of the year. He's been out for almost a year.
Oh, a year and a half.
A year and a half. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
He came in last year. He didn't really look like the old Deshaun. Now you give him a full offseason to work with the Cleveland Browns. You have one of the best running backs in the game in Nick Chubb. You have a decent tight end in Njoku. You have a good receiving room in Donovan Peoples-Jones, Elijah Moore, who I think is going to have a really good year. You have Amari Cooper as your number one. And not to mention, you don't even have to worry about the defense, because you have guys like Denzel Ward. You have Myles Garrett. Like, when you look at that team on paper, that team looks so fun to watch. So if we can get the Deshaun we had in Texas, who, when you look at Deshaun in Texas, he's working with more now than he did when he was in Texas. I understand he had D-Hop, he had J.J. Watt, he had I think Brandon Cooks came after him.
Yeah.
One. Deshaun has done more with a lot less. So if you can get the Deshaun that was in Texas, I don't see why he can't win comeback player of the year, and I don't see why the Browns can't make the playoffs.
No, I love that. And if they have the season that I believe they're going to have, I think that Deshaun Watson is going to be a prime contender for comeback player of the year. So that wraps up our NFL awards segment. Now let's get to the grandest stage of them all, the Super Bowl. Flip my page. So I'm feeling good about these picks, to be honest with you. Spent some time on it, thought about it a lot, Nick. Okay? Slept on it. Still feel good about it.
Still feel good about it.
In the AFC Championship game, I have the New York Jets going to Jacksonville to take on the Jaguars. And winning that game and advancing to the Super Bowl on the AFC side is the Jacksonville Jaguars. Simple reason why, Nick. I think Dougie P is going to coach circles around Robert Saleh. While you're high on Robert Saleh, I'm not so high on him. I'm not. I think Dougie P is going to coach circles around him. I think the talent on the field for the Jets is going to keep him in the game, but I think Dougie P is going to basically win him that game. So I have the Jacksonville Jaguars going to the Super Bowl. Now on the NFC side, I have a rematch of last year's AFC divisional round in the NFC Championship game. This time, it's in a different place, though. I have the San Francisco 49ers headed to Big D, Dallas, Texas, to take on the Cowboys. And Nick, who do I have advancing to the Super Bowl out of the NFC?
I already know.
I got the Dallas Cowboys headed to the Super Bowl this year. Listen. And let me finish off my prediction. So I have the Jacksonville Jaguars taking on the Dallas Cowboys in this year's Super Bowl in Las Vegas, Nevada, in the Death Star. And who do I have winning that game? How about them Cowboys? The Dallas Cowboys are going to be your 2023-2024 Super Bowl champions. Why? Let me tell you why. I know every year, right, you hear from the Cowboys fan, which I am not. I'm a Patriots fan. I know you hear from every Cowboys fan, this year is different. This is our year. This is our year, right? But let me tell you why this is actually their year. This is the different year. Let's start from the top in Mike McCarthy. Mike McCarthy is now coaching for his job. All right. There's a reason he fired Kellen Moore. It's because I'm not going to get fired because I didn't do everything in my power to keep my job. If I'm going to get fired, I'm going to go down doing it my way. He's going to call the offense and he's going to be coaching for his life. Now let me get to the two biggest acquisitions that make the Dallas Cowboys this premier team. And you spoke on it earlier a little bit, Nick. Now let me dive into a little bit more, though. On the offensive side, you now have Brandon Cooks. Okay. CeeDee Lamb emerged as your number one wide receiver last year. Now he's going to have even less attention on him because they've got Brandon Cooks and Michael Gallup, who I'll get to in a second. CeeDee Lamb is going to be a top-notch number one wide receiver. Brandon Cooks now comes in, who's had 1,000 yards with basically every team he has been with. Okay, so many different quarterbacks he's been. He had 1,000 yards with Davis Mills. Dak Prescott is much better than Davis Mills. I predict that CeeDee Lamb and Brandon Cooks are going to have 1,000 yards apiece. You drafted a tight end in Schumacher, I believe his name, from Michigan, who I think is going to be fighting with Jake Ferguson as the number one tight end there, just to be a safety blanket. The O-line is healthy. They just paid Terrence Steele. I got the notification
I saw
half hour ago. They paid Zach Martin. The O-line is happy and healthy now. Okay. Tony Pollard is coming off that injury, which sucks, but he's going to be the lead tailback. And look out for Mr. Deuce Vaughn, who a lot of people are getting behind and hyping up as the number 2 running back. Now let me get to the defense, Nick. You spoke on it earlier. The second acquisition that makes the Dallas Cowboys the premier team in the NFL, Mr. Stephon Gilmore. He might be older, but he is still a top 10 cornerback. They now have the best cornerback duo in the NFL. Don't believe me? Go look at what Trayvon Diggs did to Mr. Justin Jefferson. Okay? Go look at what he did. He owns Justin Jefferson. One of the biggest holes for the Cowboys last year on defense, besides stopping the run, which they added Mozzie Smith in the first round last year, so that's going to help shore that up. The second thing that they couldn't stop was Trayvon Diggs would shut down the one side, but they had no number 2. So just get attacked and attacked. Nah, that ain't happening no more. You got Gilmore and Diggs. Pick your poison who you want to attack. The Dallas Cowboys are your Super Bowl champions, Nick. Oh, it feels good. It feels so good.
I'm not gonna lie, I disagree with you, but I do have two similar teams I have. So in the AFC Championship, and I think before I say these two teams, I think they're like everything's gonna work out for them no matter what's going on, whether it be schedule, players, all that. In the AFC Championship, this might sound biased, but I'm going to say it again. In the AFC Championship, I got the New York Jets going against the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, I understand there's been a lot of speculation about Chris Jones, and, he's the main guy on that defense. But I think they definitely going to bring him back, especially after winning a Super Bowl. They're a force to be reckoned with, Kansas City Chiefs. And I actually have the Kansas City Chiefs winning that game. I had the Kansas City Chiefs winning that game because of basically Patrick Mahomes. I understand the Jets are going to have a top 3 defense, like I said, but top 3 don't mean nothing when you the number 1 guy in Patty Mahomes. Don't mean nothing. So I got the Kansas City Chiefs coming out the AFC. And in the NFC, I do have the Dallas Cowboys going to the NFC Championship, but I have them playing the Philadelphia Eagles. Because when you look at the Philadelphia Eagles, I was looking over the schedule people talking about, yeah, they can go 14-3, 13-4. I don't see a reason why they can't go 16-1. I know that's a little crazy, but if you look at their schedule, they're, especially after what happened last year with Jalen Hurts, missed the MVP to who? Patrick Mahomes. You lose in the Super Bowl to who? Patrick Mahomes. And like, when I tell you Jalen Hurts played his ass off, excuse my language, played his ass off, I don't see why they can't go back. And I actually have the Philadelphia Eagles winning the NFC. And I have a rematch of last year, but with a different outcome. I have the Philadelphia Eagles as your Super Bowl champions for the 2023-2024 NFL season.
Wow. Okay, a rematch.
Mm-hmm.
A rematch. I don't know when the last time that was a back-to-back. That's got to be back when the Dallas Cowboys and Pittsburgh Steelers played, or maybe in the 90s.
Yeah.
So I think it actually was the 90s. It might have been the Bills and another team. But okay, so you have the Kansas City Chiefs. Let me talk to you about the Chiefs and Jets thing, which I've actually thought about, and I think that while I do believe it would be best case scenario for the Jets to avoid the Chiefs in the playoffs, I think they actually match up very well against the Chiefs.
I think we do. I think we do too. I think the Chiefs only win. I think the Chiefs
greatness.
Yes, I think the Chiefs win in a fashion of the same way they beat the Buffalo Bills that year.
Okay.
You know how they won in overtime off a coin toss? They win off of something like that.
Okay, so here's where I think the Jets actually have the advantage. They have Kelsey, right? But their receivers are kind of blasé.
Yeah.
You guys have elite top-notch cornerbacks, especially in Sauce Gardner.
And DJ
If
Reed.
you can double, and if you can double Travis Kelsey and basically shut down the receivers of the Chiefs, it's gonna be tough where Mahomes is gonna go with the football.
And we have a guy in CJ Mosley who nobody talks about.
Exactly.
I love.
And you have Quinn Williams up front. I'm just saying the Jets provide a lot of problems for the Chiefs. So, but I like that. So you have a rematch of the Eagles and the Chiefs, but this time the Eagles coming out on top.
I got the Eagles coming out. I'm a big guy in Jalen Hurts.
Okay.
Jalen Hurts might not care about the MVP. He might not care about Offensive Player of the Year, but he cared about that Super Bowl, man. He put his life on the line. They should have won that game.
Yep. And that is why, my friend, Super Bowls and NBA Finals championships are the most important thing in sports, and I will not hear any other reason differently. But I actually do have the Eagles and Cowboys facing off in the playoffs. I just have it happening in the divisional round, and I obviously have the Cowboys beating them. But so those are our Super Bowl predictions for this year, our NFL awards for this year. There's something else that I wanted to mention. Football, basketball, no. Okay, you want to do a little trivia, Nick?
Yeah, I'm always
Let's do some trivia. Let me look up a thing for you.
I love testing knowledge.
What's some big any big news going on in the sports world? Anything you want to mention while I look up anything? Tell them where they can find you. Or
I was about to say, make sure you watch FIBA World Cup, man. It's a lot of fun to watch.
So go ahead. Actually, rank your favorite sports and what would be your listed off?
So when it comes to my favorite sports, at number one, obviously I got basketball.
Okay.
I love basketball. I love the game. I've been playing, for a long time now, and I love watching all of that. At number two, I got soccer. I've been playing soccer since I was probably about 7, 8, 9 years old. Okay. And soccer's always been my first love to me. So for me, soccer's at number two. At number three, for those of y'all don't know soccer, for those of y'all that do know soccer, I'm a big Chelsea fan. Okay. English Premier League, best league in the world, most competitive, all that. Mm-hmm. So at number three, I probably got football. Football is I've started to love a lot more. At number At number 4, probably baseball. I love New York Mets guy. Always has been,
Okay.
always will be. Yeah. Even though I was born and raised in the Bronx, I was tired of hearing about the Yankees, so I had to switch over.
Turncoat.
Yeah.
All right, so that's and then I've heard you talk about WNBA. You're a WNBA fan?
Oh my God, how could I not do that?
Come on, Nick. This is the problem, man. This is the problem.
Well, just to add on to basketball being my number 1.
Oh,
it don't matter who you are playing. I love the WNBA, man. WNBA, if you're not watching NBA basketball, watch WNBA, man. The women are so skilled. They're so great. It's so much fun to watch, man. Shout out to the W, man. I'm trying to be one of those dudes that the W is like, oh, a man talking about women's sports. I need that. I need the WNBA, man. If you can't watch it on TV, go to a live game. Live games are so fun. The atmosphere is great.
You want to know what's crazy, Nick?
What?
I live in Connecticut, and if I'm not mistaken, the
Connecticut Sun, bro. I was just there I think it was last week. I went to go watch them play my team, the New York Liberty. Yo, the game went into overtime. The refs were terrible, but it was such a good game. Oh my God.
All right. And are you a college women's basketball fan or no?
Yes.
Okay.
Shout out to UConn.
UConn's elite.
Shout out to LSU. Shout out to right now, my favorite player in college basketball is Haley Van Lith.
Okay.
Haley Van Lith, she's point guard, LSU, just finished her, a couple years at Louisville. Now she's teaming up with Angel Reese and Flage and LSU. They're gonna go back to back. They're going back to back, bro.
What about America's sweetheart, Caitlin Clark?
I love her game though. I like her. I like her game. When she does her celebrate. Oh, bro, I'm telling you, it's so good. And I also love. I'm praying to God. Talk about Connecticut. I pray to God that she stays healthy. I love Paige Beckers.
Okay.
Paige Beckers is a bucket. I need her in the W. She's so good.
All right. So Nick talking a little loves this some WNBA. All right. I got the trivia pulled up for you, Nick. I'll give you a basketball one. Your Miami Heat. Can you name the top 10 all-time assist leader for the Miami Heat?
Damn, top 10 is crazy. I throw in D Wade's name in there.
D Wade's number 1.
I knew it. Think about assist guys. How about I know he had a small window with us. How about LeBron? Throw LeBron in there.
LeBron is up there. He is number 4. No, 5. Sorry.
5. Mario Chalmers.
Mario Chalmers is number 4.
Gary Payton.
Gary Payton is not on there.
I'm trying to think about guards that played with us. A lot of guys. I know D Wade. Oh, my dog. Throw a Jimmy Butler in there.
Jimmy Butler is up there. He is number 8.
Okay. What about my guy that's been there a little longer than Jimmy? How about Bam Adebayo?
Bam Adebayo is number 7.
I knew it. Come on. Well, who am I missing? 2.
You're missing 2, 3, 6, 9, and 10.
2, 3, 6, 9, 10.
Two of these guys, full disclosure, I've never heard of.
How about who played?
One of them's a Hall of Fame. I'm pretty sure he's a Hall of Famer.
Who? Chris Bosh?
No.
I was about to say Chris Bosh, not an assist guy. I'm trying to think who else played on this team. What about Jason Williams?
Not on there. No.
He had a short stint with us.
Yeah.
I want to say Eddie House.
Nope.
No. Damn. I'm starting to lose it now.
There's a big name on there. There's 2 names that I know you should know for sure. 2.
Oh my God. I said D Wade. I said LeBron. I'm trying to think who some guards that played with. What about Goran Dragic?
Goran Dragic is number 3.
Thank you. Oh my God. I can't forget about my dog. Bubble Goran Dragic. Make sure y'all go watch that. He was nuts.
Playoff lead scorer.
Yup. He only went to one All-Star game and he went as a Miami Heat.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, could not believe I forgot about Goran Dragic. I'm really losing it. Damn.
Number 2. You got to get number 2. This guy he's a big name. His son plays in the NBA.
His son plays?
Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy.
He's been in the league for a while, actually.
And his son is good?
He's a good player.
I said Gary Payton.
Nope.
Okay, it's not Gary. Who? I know it ain't Shaq. Shaq played for us for a year.
No.
And he don't pass the ball.
No.
I'm trying to think. Assist leaders?
He's a point guard, too.
Who played?
He played with Shaq. Oh, no, yeah.
Did he play with Shaq? He was on that 06 finals team?
I think so.
Yo, why am I not getting his name? I'm trying to think about the guards from that time. I said Gary Payton. I said Jason Williams. I said D Wade.
I mixed him up with Penny Hardaway. I think he might have played with
Oh,
Shaq.
you're talking about Tim Hardaway.
Yeah, I knew once I said Hardaway.
I did not know that. That's crazy.
Mixed him up with Penny.
Nah, it's all good.
All right, so you're not going to get the other guys. There's Eddie Jones.
Oh, Sherman. I said Eddie House. I was close.
Yeah, that's what I think. Sherman Douglas.
Nah.
And then this guy, number 6, Bimbo Coles.
Bimbo Coles. I don't know who that is. That's crazy.
That's not a good name, though.
I had more than 50% of that list, though.
You got more than 50% of that list. That's a weird list, though.
It is a weird list.
Yeah,
I could not believe I couldn't get Goran Dragic for the longest time.
Yeah, I was like, what are we doing here, Nick? Come on. Goran Dragic just played with us. You know, he's going to probably come back.
Nah, he's coming back to us. He's coming back. He's coming back to Miami.
Yo, that's great. You know what? Let's talk a little basketball real quick.
Mm-hmm.
There's been reports out that Damian Lillard, the talks are going to re-engage. So what's your prediction for that? Do you believe that – when do you believe Damian Lillard, or do you still believe he's going to be a Miami Heat?
I'm going to make one statement, and this is the only thing I'm going to say. In October, to start the NBA season, Damian Lillard will be a Miami Heat guard. Whether it's before training camp, during training camp, after training camp, right before the season starts, Damian Lillard will be a Miami Heat guard. That's all I'm saying.
All right. Listen, I couldn't agree with you more.
There were some reports that were talking about, oh, they want to wait till before training camp. I think the whole training camp thing is because they're thinking about the young guys that we have in Nikola Jovic, who's playing in the World Cup right now, who's playing phenomenal. You got, I think we let Omir go, or he's still on the team.
No, he's still on the team.
Omir Yurtsevin. You think about, and there was just a report that apparently Tyler Herro is not happy with the organization.
I don't know. I'm not surprised.
As much as I love Tyler Herro, and I'm a big Tyler Herro guy, not because not a lot of people are, not just because he plays for my team. I was high on Tyler coming out of college when he played at Kentucky. When you have a guy in Tyler Herro, I think wherever Tyler goes, and I pray to God Tyler Herro becomes a Brooklyn Net, I will follow that man wherever he goes. Tyler Herro is a Heat legend. Tyler Herro is my guy. I love Tyler. I think Tyler's going to be a premier guard in this league. And Tyler Herro's just good, man. But and then you look at a guy in which I hope we don't trade. He's the one young guy I hope we keep, is the guy we just drafted, Jaime Jaquez Jr. And it's crazy because when we drafted him, I was all over Twitter talking about, I love this pick. I love this guy. He screams Heat Nation.
Yes.
The amount of people that text me, hit me in the Discord, in my Twitter DMs talking about, yo, y'all are crazy for taking Jaime. I'm telling you, yo, that kid, I'm praying he's not in the Dame deal because he screams Miami Heat culture. And he's such a good player.
I mean, he fits the culture perfectly. Yeah.
So well.
I don't think he'd be a part of it unless I think you'd have to wait until past December because I think you're not allowed to trade.
Yeah, because he's a rookie.
He just got drafted. Yeah. Yeah, no, I love what you said because it's just the talking points are going to come up. And you mentioned Tyler Hero. He's not happy with the organ. No, he's not happy at all. I think when the news first broke, if I'm not mistaken, he deleted everything from his Twitter.
He took Miami guard out of his Twitter bio.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah. So I mean, obviously, you're not going to be very happy. You think you're going to be a vocal point, and now they're going out to get Damian Lillard. Listen, that's the business. That's what it is. So,
as much as I love Tyler, and like I've seen these Miami Heat Twitter fan pages talking about, oh, Portland don't want Tyler. We can keep Tyler and get Dame. It's not going to work.
That's super tough. Listen, either if
it's not that it won't work as a fit, it won't work money wise.
Yeah.
So Tyler signed a max.
Yep.
Dame has a max
super
extension.
Max, yeah.
Bam has a max. Jimmy has a max. It's not going to work financially.
What I will say, this is what I'll say about this situation, right? I don't understand why the Trailblazers aren't doing it. Either they can't see 2 feet in front of them or they're just blind. Damian Lillard has 2 years left on his contract.
3.
Okay, yeah, he's got 2 more years after this year, I believe, right?
Exactly, yes.
Damian Lillard, in all realms, is most likely going to be headed back to the Portland Trailblazers after he finishes his time in Miami. He's going to spend 2, maximum 3 years in Miami. That's it.
Pulling a LeBron.
Yes, and then he's going to go back to Portland. So the more Portland fucks with him and keeps poking him,
the more
you see the interview with I'm forgetting the guy's name of where he just basically smacks his lips, goes, "I'm not talking about Portland right now." You're pissing the man off.
I think it was Mark Spears.
Yeah, I think you're correct, actually.
Yeah, he was like, "Oh, earlier in the year, you requested a trade. So ever since that time, how do you feel about the Portland Trailblazers as an organization?" He sucks his teeth. He goes, "I'd rather not speak on the Portland Trailblazers and what's going on."
Yeah,
he
exactly.
Really avoids the question.
Yep, and you're just pissing him off even more, which is just not good for the situation. And so I think Portland ends up. I don't understand why Portland's not doing it. You just take Tyler Hero, you take the draft picks, you take the players we're going to give you, and then you look to it and say, okay, Damian Lillard's going to be back in 2 to 3 years. We can trade Tyler Hero if we really don't want him and get another package if we really want. Everything's going to work out for Portland in the end. At the end of the day, I don't understand why they're not seeing it, but that's all I got to say about that situation.
I think the one thing, just my last thing,
yeah.
I think the reason why Portland is not looking at it that way is because the GM still thinks they can compete.
And he's an idiot.
And I don't know what he's talking about. I remember there was a report that came out. He said, yeah, we're only trading Dame for a superstar level player so that way we can compete in this conference. The only reason you were competing was because you had Damian Lillard on that team.
Yep.
Like, yeah, last year we were 3rd in the West, 4th in the West. That's because everybody was healthy. But then you lose guys like Justice Winslow, who's a major defensive guy. You trade away Josh Hart, who's a major defensive guy. Nurk gets hurt. Jeremy Grant is up and down. Anthony Simons in and out the lineup. Even Dame got hurt last year. Like, bro, you got to hit the button. You drafted like everything screams rebuild. You have the emergence of a guy in Shaedon Sharpe. You signed Jeremy Grant so that way you can keep him as a vet. You see the emergence in Anthony Simons as a number 1. Him and Shaedon Sharpe, great. Yeah. I didn't even get to the Scoop pick. I love that kid. I tell people all the time I'm a Portland fan because of Dame. When Dame goes to Miami, I'm still a Portland fan because I love Scoop. Yeah. Scoop Henderson is the next best thing. He's my pick for Rookie of the Year. Scoop Henderson is that guy. When you add a 3-headed young monster in Scoop, Anthony Simons, Shaedon Sharpe, 2 proven 20-point per game scorers that can be those guys in the league, and then you add a physical basketball nut and shit. Like, come on, bro. You're screaming rebuild.
It's you're 1,000.
It's gonna be fun to watch.
You're 1000% correct, Nick.
I don't get it.
And I yeah, there's nothing more to say about it. You hit all the nails on the head. It's a situation that Portland needs to hurry up and make their decision, or they're gonna end up pissing off Dame, and then it's just not gonna, it's not gonna work out. Yeah. So I did promise this. I'm gonna share to everybody why and where I have the Denver Broncos. I mean, sorry, not the Denver Broncos. Where and why I have the Buffalo Bills finishing 10-7, missing the playoffs. So here, let's go
through that schedule.
Let's go through the schedule first. Week 1, they play your New York Jets.
How I feel about that.
Yep. In New York, Monday Night Football, no Von Miller. I actually have the Buffalo Bills winning this game. Yes, I do. Okay.
At MetLife?
At MetLife, Week 1. I think the Bills are a phenomenal Week 1 team. Week 2 against another team that you love, the Las Vegas Raiders.
That's a W in the Bills. So now you got the Bills 2-0.
Bills 2-0, right? In Buffalo, taking on the Raiders. They win that game. Week 3, they head to Washington to take on the Commanders. I have the Bills winning that game. 3-0. Now we play Miami in Buffalo. I have Buffalo taking that game and winning that game. 4-0. Here's their first loss. They go to London and play the Jaguars. I believe this is a home game away from home for Jacksonville because they are kind of known as the England team, the London team.
Yes.
Shahid Khan has a lot of business going on in England, so I think the Jaguars are going to win this game.
So 4-1.
Yep, 4-1. Then we go week 6, and they take on the New York Giants in Buffalo. I have the Bills winning that game. Yep.
5-1.
Then we go to oh shit, almost fucked up. Then we go to week 7 against the New England Patriots. The first game against the Pats in New England. I have the Bills winning that game.
6-1.
Yep. Then we go Tampa Bay, Thursday Night Football in Buffalo. I have the Bills winning that game.
7-1.
7-1.
So right? You have them starting 7-1 and then going 10-7.
Here we go. Here comes the bumpy road.
Go ahead.
Week 9 against the Bengals in Cincinnati. I have the Bengals winning this game.
7-2.
Yep. Denver Broncos head to Buffalo. I think Denver Broncos steal this game. I think their defense is top 5. I think that at this point in time, Russell Wilson, that offense is going to get that chemistry and continuity together, and I think that they beat the Buffalo Bills in Monday Night Football in Buffalo. I think it's an upset game for the Denver Broncos.
7-3.
Yep. Then we go week 11 in Buffalo against your Jets.
7-4.
Nope. I have the Bills.
You have the Bills
sweeping the Jets, sweeping them. Yep.
Okay.
Here's and once I get to the end, you're going to be this even crazier.
So you're at 8-3.
8-3. They have losses to the Bengals, Broncos, and Jaguars. Now we go to Sunday. Sorry. Week 12, Sunday against the Philadelphia Eagles in Philadelphia. I have Philadelphia winning that game.
So 8-4.
8-4. Then bye week 13, come back for week 14 to play the Kansas City Chiefs. I believe the Chiefs have their number. I think the Chiefs win that game.
8-5.
8-5. The Bills head back to Buffalo to take on the Dallas Cowboys. I have the Buffalo Bills winning this game. I think they get the W against the Dallas Cowboys.
9-5.
9-5. Then they head to Los Angeles on Saturday to take on the Chargers. I have the Chargers winning that game.
9-6.
Then they finish off 2 divisional games. They go to Buffalo to take on the Patriots. I have the Bills winning that game, sweeping the New England Patriots.
10-6.
And then finally, week 18, taking on the Miami Dolphins in Miami. I have the Miami Dolphins winning that game 10-7 for the Buffalo Bills.
Wow.
I have them going 5-1 in the division, 6-6 in the conference, 7-2 at home, 3-5 away. I just think that the Buffalo Bills, they're going to finish 10-7, but they're going to miss out because I have 3 teams in the AFC North making the playoffs and 2 teams in the AFC West making the playoffs.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think when you go through it, I think
it's a tough schedule. I'm not gonna lie, it's a tough schedule.
And think about it though. Think about the games I have them sweeping your Jets. So if you believe that they're gonna split, that's another loss. That's 9-8. Now I know other games that
So
I picked.
the way I look at it is I kind of see what you're saying because like you have them losing to the Broncos and I have them beating the Jets. There's no record change there. It's
Yeah,
still 10-7.
that's fair.
And then you have them sweeping Miami or you have them splitting.
Splitting with Miami, sweeping New England.
Okay, see, that's like I get that. Like I have them splitting with the New York Jets, splitting with the Miami Dolphins, and sweeping the New England Patriots. Anything else, I get it.
Yeah. You
I
get
actually it's crazy because I think when I looked at the schedule, I had the Bills, I think either coming in first or second in our division with us.
yeah. I have the Jets finishing in number 1 in the AFC East. And listen,
We have a tough schedule too.
yeah, I mean it's tough. I think the whole AFC East has a tough schedule to come up, but I just think when you look at it, it's very valid if the Buffalo Bills. Now, obviously, other people are going to have the Denver Broncos not making the playoffs. They're not going to have the Browns making the playoffs, so Buffalo is obviously going to get in there. But the way I see it, that's what's going to happen, and that's how I see it.
I definitely have the Denver Broncos missing the playoffs. I
not seeing
definitely
the vision.
have the Denver Broncos missing the playoffs.
You're not seeing the vision.
No.
I
see them getting better.
Yeah.
But I just don't see them making the playoffs.
I hear you.
If you look at the NFC, like Cowboys playoff team, Eagles playoff team, the Niners playoff team.
You mean the AFC for the Broncos?
Oh, I'm an idiot. I'm sorry.
They're even that's
even worse.
Harder. Yeah, I know.
Like you look at the Broncos, like just in their division alone, you have the Chargers playoff team, Chiefs playoff team, AFC South. I agree with you. Jags playoff team, AFC North, the Ravens playoff team, Bengals playoff team. Like those are definites, and we're not even talking about the maybes. We're at 5 already. AFC East, you have the Bills, the playoff team. That's 6. I think obviously the Jets are going to make the playoffs. 7. Like, and then you got some maybes in the Miami Dolphins.
Yep.
I think obviously, I think the Pittsburgh Steelers could make the playoffs.
This is the thing about the AFC, and I've said this before. This might be the best conference that NFL and football has ever seen. If you look at just rank the top 10 quarterbacks in the AFC, you're basically ranking the top 10 quarterbacks in the NFL.
Exactly.
Okay? You've got teams all the way through. You look at the AFC East, even down to New England. If you're not high in New England, they are going to steal games and win games from people. They are coached by the greatest coach in NFL history. Okay.
Would they go 9-8 last year?
Exactly. Yes. You go to the AFC North. I could see all those teams winning more than 9 games.
I could see the whole NFC, the whole AFC North has a chance to make the playoffs.
It's the best division in football.
Yes.
Best division in football. AFC South, while Jacksonville is leaps and bounds, in my opinion, ahead, Tennessee will steal games from people because of Mike Vrabel and some pieces they have. Houston, Indy, I'm not very high on.
I'm not.
Then you go to the AFC West. Like you said, Kansas City is the class of the NFL. The Chargers are going to compete. They're going to be an offensive load. If you can't stop that offense, it's going to be tough to beat them. The Broncos have a top 5 defense. They have a Hall of Fame head coach coming in. Hopefully they're going to revert. And then you have the Vegas Raiders, who are going to be a sneaky team where they can steal some games here and there. They're not going to be a team to make it playoffs, but they can steal some games because their offense has high firepower. So look at this whole AFC. Jesus Christ, it is stacked.
It's crazy.
It's disgusting, as you were going to say.
Since we're talking about the AFC, I just want to talk about the NFC real quick.
Hit them up.
I have a couple sneaky teams that I think could make the playoffs.
Okay.
We spoke about them earlier. I think the Lions could make the playoffs.
I think they're honestly definite. I'm very high.
Yeah. Like, just to talk about some of the definites out of the NFC East, you have Dallas and you have the Eagles.
Yep.
The NFC North, you have I think Vikings could make it. I think Vikings. This is where I get bold. I have the Chicago Bears winning this division.
Woo! No.
I have the Chicago Bears winning the NFC North. No, because I'm not high on Jordan Love. Mm-hmm. The Lions are good. Don't get me wrong.
Oh, man.
The Lions, that's just me being hostile.
The Kool-Aid, I'm telling you, with the Lions.
The Lions will probably if not tie the Bears, probably beat the Bears, make the playoffs. The Vikings, I think, are taking a big step back. In my opinion, I think the Vikings are going to take a step back. Jez is still that guy, but like, there's really nobody else.
The defense and offensive line is tough.
Exactly. You talk about the NFC South. The only team I could see here making the playoffs, obviously, you have your Bucks agenda. I get it. Is the New Orleans Saints.
I listen, and as a Baker guy and who's high on Baker and believes this is going to happen, I can admit the Saints are obviously the odds-on favorite to win this division. This should be their division. It
Absolutely.
But now I will tell you that I'm not a believer. Dennis Allen is not a good head coach.
I get it, but like when it comes to that, like when you look at the Saints, I just believe in the guys that they have.
They have a fierce defense.
And you know how I feel about Derek Carr.
Yeah, and Derek Carr, listen, he's not a top 10 guy, but he's right there, right outside there.
He's like 12.
Yes,
14.
and if MT comes back and he's that dude, listen, Kamara comes off the suspension. Jamal Williams was a touchdown machine.
And I said it on my show. Kamara suspended the first 3-4 games.
4 games, yeah.
Those are all winnable games. All winnable games without him.
Yeah. The Saints are in a good position. I just think that Dennis Allen is going to hold them back. And then there's been rumors that not even rumors, there's been pictures. John Gruden has been an advisor. He doesn't have an official role. He's been an advisor there.
And then the NFC West, you have the Niners and the Seahawks.
And I believe, and to me, I think the Seahawks are going to take a step back, actually. And I think the Rams, and I know this is a bold prediction with the Rams because I know basically half their team or more than half their team is rookies, but I just believe in Matthew Stafford and Sean McVay to get this team back and make the playoffs. But I completely hear the point of I can't trust that, especially with the Cooper Cup. It's getting even tougher. It's getting tougher for them. Yeah. There's been rumors and predictions that Aaron Donald will be traded at the trade deadline. There's been rumors about it. So listen, NFL season, Nick, is right around the corner.
I can't wait.
How much longer do you have?
What do you mean?
You got to go or
I ain't going nowhere.
Okay, you're here. Okay, so I want to transition real quick. We kind of covered all the sports, stuff. I want to talk to you about some movie stuff.
Ooh.
Okay. Now, I believe you have seen the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie, haven't you?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
You haven't seen it?
No, but I will tell you I did see Blue Beetle.
Okay, what did you think of Blue Beetle?
I loved it.
Okay.
I loved it.
Now, what's your nationality?
I'm Puerto Rican, Dominican, and African and Black.
So it's not it's a Mexican culture, but it's kind of that Hispanic Latino culture. So
yes, that's why I feel like some people are like, oh, like I get it why you loved it because it's a big family movie. Yeah. But when you see the comics, like if you read the comics on Blue Beetle, you look at all the TV shows on him. Like if you love DC, you got to get HBO Max. HBO Max has everything.
Just Max now.
Yeah, I'm sorry, just Max, just Max. But when you talk Max, you talk anything DC, anything animated, it's on there.
Yep.
When you watch shows like Young Justice and you see the emergence of Blue Beetle, it's so good. Mm-hmm. When I tell you that movie, when it comes to Blue Beetle as a character, was so accurate.
Yeah.
The suit, the weapons, I think the actor was great. Like everything. I'm telling you, the movie was so good. In my opinion. I loved it.
I listen. I saw it too. I loved it. I gave it. I think it was like a 7.8, 7.7 out of 10. Very good movie.
I gave it like an 8.
No, yeah, and I hear you. The guys I saw it with actually initially said it was a 10 out of 10. I was like, all right.
No, yeah, that's just because you just watched the movie. Like I gave it a couple of days, and then because me and my 2 cousins, we love movies, we love all that. So like they called me 2 days later. They're like, all right, now what do you think? I'm like, all right, it was an 8 out of 10.
Yeah.
Still
Are you an opening day guy or you wait a couple of days?
I usually wait I only do opening days when it comes to like my favorite stuff. Like
gotcha.
Like when Avengers came out, opening day. When Batman came out, opening day. Like
it's for me, I'm an opening day guy for almost trying every movie. It's just simply because I can't I'm on social media, so I can't get spoiled.
They ruin stuff.
But you definitely have to see the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie. I think you'll really like it.
Me and my fiance have been trying so hard to go watch that movie.
It's so good. It's
So
very good. If you're a fan of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, it's very good. My favorite scene is the bacon, egg, and cheese scene. It's the best.
everybody's talking about that.
Well, he said, I'm a gangster. I got my puff and my Tims. I need my bacon, egg, and cheese. they just go off, dude. They go, hey, yo, Ock, let me get a bacon, egg, and cheese.
He says that in the
He
movie.
says that. He said
I have to go see it. I have to go see it.
He said, with the bev, we outside. they just go off.
I need to see that.
So Seth Rogen basically let these kids they did the voice acting together, which usually
it's based in New York, which I love.
And they let them just kind of riff and go off each other, and they started, riffing and acting like stereotypical New Yorkers and just doing that. So that's the best scene in the movie. You're gonna love it. You guys are gonna love it. I'm telling you.
Oh, I need that.
Yeah. So here's a quick question. Are you DC or Marvel? Which one's your?
Oh my God, it's so hard to pick, but I have to ride with my roots. I'm a DC guy.
Yeah, I hear you.
I love Marvel. I'm not one of those guys that like, oh, it's DC or it's nothing. Like, I love DC. I love Marvel, but I grew up watching Batman.
Yeah,
and Batman was my guy.
Yeah,
like some of my friends call me Batman because that's my character.
Okay.
So I literally I have a mouse pad in front of me.
Batman.
Yes.
Batman. Yeah.
I have a Batman tattoo, which was like my 4th tattoo.
My boy Dylan that I told you about, he's got a Batman tattoo right on his bicep there too of the logo. There it is, Batman.
That's my guy.
I love it. So and I love that you said DC because I am a DC guy too. I love Marvel too, but I grew up with DC. DC is more my avenue.
Absolutely.
So are you keeping up with the news a little bit for DC? You know, the transition period they're in over. So are you like, where are you on the fence of like, are you restore the Snyderverse? Are you, I like what James Gunn is going to do? Or I'll wait and see? Where are you?
So, to be honest, I didn't like Zack Snyder at first.
Okay.
But when he came out with because Justice League was terrible.
The theatrical, the
one that came out in the movie theaters was terrible.
Yeah.
But when he came out with the Snyder cut, I thought that was phenomenal. I thought it was way better.
Oh my God.
So I like what he's doing. I also like what James Gunn is doing because, like I said, I love the Blue Beetle.
Yeah.
Have you seen Flash?
Yeah, I saw Flash.
I didn't like it at all.
Okay.
I didn't like it.
I thought it was good.
I thought it was okay.
Okay.
But there were some little things that when you go like a lot of movies, when it comes to superhero movies, I pay a lot of attention to the main character.
Yeah.
And if you're not on par with certain things, I'm like, this is not it.
I hear you. I'm not a big fan of Ezra Miller.
I'm not either.
Yeah. So
it's the run for me. It's not even a run. Like it's
the frolicking.
Yes.
Did you have a good chuckle though when he did the when he tried to run but he didn't have his speed anymore though?
Yes.
Okay, that was funny though.
I literally started to laugh. My dad.
The run sucks. The run is stupid.
It was so terrible.
It's really bad. But what we'll say about James Gunn, right, is I'm a big James Gunn guy. If you're a Guardians of the Galaxy fan, you're a James Gunn fan.
Yes, absolutely.
If you liked the Suicide Squad, the second one, you're a James Gunn guy. Peacemaker. I'm on the James Gunn train. I'm super excited. Superman Legacy obviously coming out in 2 years. Gotta wait. Obviously the strike is going on, so it might delay it.
I hope everybody gets paid.
Yeah, everybody get paid. This is bullshit. You want to know what? I fucking hate the suits, is what I call them. The suits. The guys and there's apparently reports that these guys are surprised that they are being painted as the villain. It's like, what are you? You guys are sitting on $25 million annual salaries, and you won't even give people residuals.
Exactly.
Like, what is going on here, man?
It's crazy.
And now apparently, which is good, the VFX people are starting to unionize. So now because they're not a part of a union, so they were getting overloaded work and not being paid overtime. So listen, things are gonna have to start changing. People are gonna have to get paid, and hopefully the CGI is and all that is better because you got to give it time. You can't just rush that shit, man.
That was another thing in Blue Beetle. I thought the CGI was great.
The CGI was very good. CGI was very good. Yeah, they did a very good job there. Aquaman 2 is going to be coming out. Is it? Have you seen Oppenheimer?
No, I have not.
You haven't seen Oppenheimer? Oh man, you need to see
No.
Oppenheimer.
I heard it was really good.
It was really good. You're probably not gonna be able to get
3 hours.
Yeah. It's very long. It's 3 hours long.
Typical Marvel movie stuff.
Oh yeah. If you're not, you're probably not gonna be able to get a chance to see it in theaters. But it is built for the theaters. But you're gonna love it on TV anyway. Have you seen No Hard Feelings?
No, I have not.
Oh man, that's the one with Jennifer Lawrence.
Yes, with the kid, right?
Yeah, the comedy movie.
I actually want to see that. I want to see it.
Yeah, it's on demand now. You can watch it at home. So I would definitely check it out. That is very funny.
I'm definitely gonna watch that.
I want to check out Strays that is coming out. Well, it's already came out with the one with Will Ferrell and Jamie Foxx. I love that. But yeah, I'm excited, man. The movie. I'm not that excited for the Marvels though.
I'm only excited to see it because I loved what's her name in WandaVision?
Monica Rambeau.
Monica Rambeau. I loved her in that movie. I thought she was great. I mean, in the show.
The show, yeah.
The show. Captain Marvel, I wasn't too crazy about. Yeah. But I like the actress. I think she plays Captain Marvel really well.
Like Brie Larson.
And Miss Marvel, I didn't like the show at all.
I didn't even watch it. I'm gonna be honest with you.
I didn't like it at all. I only like when it comes to shows like that, like I force myself to watch it because I need to.
Yeah, I know, I hear you.
But like it's just like
it was a tough get through.
It was tough.
It was a tough get through.
And then now they're giving like they're like it looks funny, but I don't know, man.
It's on that line where it could be very not funny.
Did you see this is gonna like segue into the next I don't want to say saga because that's anime. Like the next phase of Marvel. Yeah. Did you see Quantumania?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm caught up on everything.
How do you feel about that?
I liked Quantumania. I liked it more than a lot of people did. I thought it was the best Ant-Man movie. But I hear people's negatives about it. I understand, but I think it's a good. It's another setup movie, and that's another complaint that a lot of people have. Every Marvel movie is a setup, basically. But I thought it was very good. And listen, and full disclosure, I'm Paul Rudd stan. So anything Paul Rudd is in, I'm gonna love because I really
like him too.
Yeah, I love Paul Rudd. So I thought Guardians of the Galaxy 3 was incredible. I thought it's the best movie since Wakanda Forever. Two very sad movies, which made me both tear up very much.
I don't even want to talk about Wakanda, man. That's my guy.
That's your guy too. Listen, the second time I watched that, and I waited months before I watched it the second time, Wakanda Forever. The second time I watched it, I waited. He's just pulling up everything, socks and it.
Yeah.
The second time I watched it, which I waited like months because I knew if I'm gonna put this movie on, I'm gonna cry again. So, and the second watch was just another tough. I mean, I cried even more than the first time I watched it. It's just tough from the opening sequence, right, to then Angela Bassett, the mother, dying, which I didn't see coming, to the end with T'Challa's son. I mean, those three moments there.
Yo, when I was just talking about this. When me and my fiance, my girlfriend at the time, before we got engaged, when we went to go see Wakanda Forever, I'm sitting in the movie theater. And when they had the beginning, I was like, oh, damn. I was like, all right, this will be the one time I tear, and it's the only time I tear. When the mom was going through it, I'm like, oh, she about to come out. She about to be a vengeance. She about to go crazy.
Yep.
When she went, I was gone. I was like, no way. I was like, they did not just kill off Angela Bassett. Oh my God. I was like, yo, I can't believe they did that.
Yeah, I didn't see that one coming. That one caught me off guard because I was like, I don't think anybody else is gonna die.
But I also get why they did that because like it was the emergence of Shuri, which I thought was so great.
Yeah, they had to break her down to build her up.
Exactly.
That's what they had to do. Yeah, and I loved it. It wasn't as good as the first one, but that's just because
the first one
without Chadwick Boseman, it's hard to top that.
Yeah.
But I think, listen, I'm not one who's in the case of Marvel is dead, the MCU is dead, or it's dying. I don't
I
think
don't
it
know
is.
why people are saying that.
Because people just are so quick they're fickle. People are fickle.
Yeah.
That is what they are. So once you put out, people are like, oh, the Secret Invasion was trash, which it was. It was not good.
I actually haven't seen it yet.
Okay, well, it's not that good. Let me just tell you that right now. But people want to forget. They're like, oh, Secret Invasion sucked. Marvel's dying. But they just forget a month earlier, you got an incredible movie and a send-off in Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Like, and before that, you got Quantumania, which, say what you want, it was still a solid movie. And you got a great performance out of Jonathan Majors as Kang, which is a prelude of what to come. And then before that, we got Wakanda Forever, which was a great movie.
I think he's perfect as Kang.
Yeah. And so I just think people are just quick to jump on the gun and be like, Marvel's dying because we're not in the end game anymore. It's like, okay, but we got to build to, new stuff now. And that's what we're going to do. And have their TV shows missed a lot? Sure. And they need to do a better job of that. But their movies, they're still hitting the big points. And I think the highest highs are great for them.
It's crazy because, like, when we talk about Marvel shows, I feel like the ones that are off brand are the best ones.
Which one do you mean?
Like,
you mean Werewolf?
What?
Werewolf by Night?
I actually did not see that.
Okay.
But I was actually talking about Moon Knight.
Okay, yeah, Moon Knight was incredible.
So, like, when you look at shows like that were starting to be off brand, were so good. Like, I thought Moon Knight was great. I understand this movie wasn't off brand, but like at the time it kind of was WandaVision. WandaVision was great. Yeah. She-Hulk was okay. Yeah. I'm trying to think of other shows.
She-Hulk wasn't that good, to be honest with you.
No, it wasn't.
No. But I liked it, and I said this, and I got some pushback, but I liked it over Secret Invasion. But just because She-Hulk's a comedy, and you knew what you were going to get. It wasn't very good comedy, but at least it was like, I know what I'm getting. Secret Invasion just kind of took a shot on the actual Secret Invasion saga.
Yes.
Yeah. Listen, the everything from the Marvels, there hasn't been a very bad one, right? Mm-hmm. Like, there has been bad, but to be honest, they're all still somewhat solid. Like, I know Moon Knight, I'm surprised you said that, but I guess me and you are different. Moon Knight to me was incredible. A lot of people don't like Moon Knight,
which I thought was wild.
Yeah, and they're like, this is a bottom tier, and I'm like, I don't know why. I got super invested in the storyline. But yeah, I'm excited for Loki season 2 that's coming out. And
oh my god, yes! Oh my god, how did I miss that?
It's tough that a couple of things have gotten delayed indefinitely. Not Deadpool. Daredevil, Born Again, the TV show has been delayed indefinitely until everything gets wrapped up with the strike. So that sucks. A lot of things are getting delayed. We're still getting Loki October 6th. That's coming out, but they're delaying things, and it's just it sucks. And it's like, damn.
I actually have not really a controversial question, but I have to ask. You being a DC guy, I always ask people when they tell me, "Oh yeah, I love DC, love Batman." I gotta ask, who is your favorite Batman?
Oh, this is not even. It's Christian Bale.
Okay,
it's not even a question.
Okay, so now that leads up to my second question. How did you feel about Ben Affleck?
He's okay. Good. Okay. Okay. Let me get this straight. I think he's third for me.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, behind Keaton.
Okay.
Are you a Ben Affleck guy?
Absolutely not.
Oh, okay.
I thought he was terrible.
Okay.
I thought he was
I'm not gonna listen. I'm not dying on the hill that he was okay. It's just I hear you.
When I saw that he was being Batman, I looked and I was like, he's a little big to be Batman. Mm-hmm. I went to go watch Batman versus Superman: Dawn of Justice. I'm sitting in that movie. I came out. Everybody's like, "Oh my god, oh my god!" They were like, "Nick." I was like, "Don't even ask me." That was so bad. Like he's bottom tier.
Oh,
like he's bottom tier. I thought Val Kilmer was better than him.
That's fair. Val Kilmer was all right.
For me, it's Bale.
Yep.
I love Bale because Bale can play both. Bale was Bruce Wayne and he was Batman.
Yep.
Next I have who's the one you just said?
Keaton. Michael
Keaton. I thought Keaton was great.
Yep.
And at 3, a lot of people might hate me for this. I loved Clooney.
You loved Clooney? What?
I loved Clooney. I loved Clooney. I thought he was so good.
Hey man.
That
movie's terrible though, right?
So what?
You know the movie's terrible though, right?
I don't care. I thought the movie was dope.
Okay.
I thought the movie was dope.
Okay. Hey, listen, man, to each his own.
Listen, there are parts of that movie that are really bad. Like,
listen, I grew up on that, man.
Arnold Schwarzenegger's freeze was so terrible.
It was bad.
So bad.
Yeah.
But I thought Ivy was great.
Shit.
I thought Robin was good.
Okay.
I thought Batgirl was good.
Okay.
Like, I thought the whole aspect of the movie was good.
Mm-hmm.
I thought Clooney was great.
You loved Clooney.
Because when you look at, people don't understand this. When you look at Clooney and the movie he played in, he was supposed to be an older Batman.
Yeah.
Now he's having a sidekick. He's having a second sidekick. Like, that's why he was older. He was a little more relaxed as a Bruce Wayne. He was very smart as a Batman, teaching the sidekicks, doing all that. Oh, man, Clooney was great.
You loved Clooney.
Nobody says.
Man, I think if I'm going to be honest with you, I think if Clooney was given another opportunity, he would knock it out of the park, and I think he'd do a very great job. I think Clooney as just George Clooney fits Bruce Wayne perfectly.
Yes.
Because George Clooney in real life is basically Bruce Wayne. He's a playboy, rich guy. That's really what Bruce Wayne is.
I'm gonna steal this from Tony Stark. Playboy, billionaire, philanthropist.
There you go. Book it. So yeah, listen, I'm not gonna argue. Clooney to me he'd be tied with a guy that I absolutely despise, which was Pattinson. I'm not on that train. I think the Batman was a bad movie, if I'm going to be honest with you. I thought Pattinson was god awful. I think he's terrible. I just think he's bad.
I thought Pattinson was great.
No, he's terrible.
I thought he was good because of coming from the aspect of he was only in year 2.
Yeah.
He was only year 2. He was still learning.
Yeah.
It gave him room to grow.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look, in year 2, he already had the relationship with Jim Gordon.
Yeah.
Already solving crimes. I understand. I like the aspect that they made him fail. Mm-hmm. So that way he can learn from his mistakes.
Okay.
Catwoman, he was messing up badly. He was too late to get to the flooding, too late to beat the Riddler. You know, like, they gave him room to grow, which I love. And I thought he was great. Like, he was still early in his parents' death. He was very depressed, wasn't really being a Bruce Wayne. Now he's got room to grow in that aspect.
Okay, now that's where I've got to cut you off there, right? Because I watched this with the guy, Dylan, again, I'll mention, who was very excited for this movie. And the only reason I really went to go see this movie is because of him. If not, I probably wouldn't have went to go see it. And full disclosure, I really don't even know why they're making a Batman Part 2, and I don't think they should make a Batman Part 2. And he liked this movie too when we came out of theater. And then I systematically destroyed every feeling he had towards this movie with actual effects. So you say that, right? He's early. He's not early on in his parents' death. So let's bring you and this is what's great, because the Nolan trilogy exists, Nick. The Nolan trilogy exists. So we can compare it to something that is what it's supposed to be, right?
Yes.
Bruce Wayne is not supposed to be an emo, sad boy, gothic, petulant child. He's not. He's not. He is supposed to be what you said, a billionaire, playboy, philanthropist. He's supposed to be boisterous and crazy. If he wants to be that way towards,
I'm gonna let you finish, and then I'm gonna say something.
If he was just that way with Alfred, that's okay. But the fact that he was out in public acting that way, it's just not. It doesn't fit the character at all as Batman or Bruce Wayne, right? He cut one scene in particular that I absolutely despise. That you can't. When he goes into Falcone, right? It was Carmine. It was Carmine Falcone. Carmine Falcone, or was that in the Dark Knight trilogy? No, whatever. The guy that he goes into his hideout, whatever, and he asks, and the guy basically just straight up lies to him and stuff, and calls him shit about his parents. And he walks in there, Nick.
Yes, that was Carmine Falcone.
Yeah, with his shoulders slouched in, his hair was like down here, moping, sad. That's not Bruce Wayne. And then he buys every word that this man, this criminal, is saying to him about his parents, about Alfred. And then what does he do after that? He goes to Alfred's possible deathbed because Alfred could have died. He didn't, but he could have. And what's the first thing he says when Alfred awakens? Not, I love you, I'm happy you're okay, nothing like that, right? It's, you lied to me. You lied. He believed every word the criminal told him. And he basically told off Alfred at his deathbed. World's greatest detective? I think not.
But this is why I said he's got room to grow, because they were giving hints when he was talking to Jim Gordon, or like people looking in the newspaper talking about, oh, this guy's been around for 2 years now, 2 years this, 2 years that. If you look at the trilogy in Batman 3, The Dark Knight Returns,
Rises.
So I understand it hasn't been I think it kind of been 2 years. In the beginning of that movie, Batman was nothing. Bruce was nothing. He was sitting at home, didn't leave the cave. The business was going to shit. That's what was happening in the Batman.
Nick, you walked yourself into a corner, my friend, and here's why.
What?
Because that's the third movie. This is year 1. Year 2. It's explainable that that took from Dark Knight to Dark Knight Rises, it was like 6 or 10 years or whatever in the future.
Yes.
He had been a beaten up, broken down older Batman. That's why he was that way. That's explainable. Okay, he lost his love from childhood, basically. In the Dark Knight, Rachel. Yeah. Where is she? I love that.
That was so great. Oh my god.
In the Batman, that's the first vision you see of him. There's no room. He should be built that way. Like, he should start off as this eccentric playboy philanthropist who walks around like that. And then eventually you build to years of losing people, years of doing this and stuff. And that's what it builds to in The Dark Knight Rises. That's why it makes sense there. It doesn't make sense in the Batman. And also, go ahead.
I don't know that I feel opposite, because like we were just talking about Wakanda Forever. You got to break somebody down to build them up.
That's what I'm saying.
But like, if you look at the whole Batman with Robert Pattinson, the whole movie he was losing.
Yeah.
And then he started to come up at the end with his, like the relationship he had with Catwoman starting to come up. The bond he's getting with the president, and now he's helping all the people. He's building his relationship. He's building to become a better Batman. That's why I like this movie so much, because, like, yes, you see him fail after fail after fail, but like towards the end of the movie, you see he doesn't give up. He still has hope. Oh, yeah. He's still. That's why I feel like in the next movie you're gonna see a bigger, polished, more polished Batman.
And that's what my friends are telling me, is that we're going to see. I don't think we're going to see that. I think Robert Pattinson's Bruce Wayne and Batman is going to be a depressed emo guy. I think that's his take on it. Now, maybe I could be wrong. You guys, he's going to flip the switch and become what Christian Bale was. Showing.
I'm not saying Christian Bale. Yeah. I'm not saying Christian Bale, but I think he's going to be a lot better.
Okay, but I don't think so. I think he's going to be the same thing. I think that's just his take, because I think that he's kind of taking what Michael Keaton was a little bit. And again, he mistakens it, because Michael Keaton was years into being Batman and Bruce Wayne. And so he could be that way, dark and stuff like that as Bruce. With Pattinson, you can't, dude, you just learned from, I know they didn't show it, but the League of Shadows, and how to describe, disguise yourself and put on a mask and do this other thing so they don't see the real you. You can't just be like so sad. And it's just, listen, I thought Jim Gordon was great. I thought Colin Farrell as the Penguin was great. I thought the guy, blanking on his name, the guy who played Riddler was great. Paul Dano.
I thought the Riddler was phenomenal.
Yeah, he was great.
He was so good.
Catwoman was good. Kravitz, I wasn't blown away by her. I
think they just picked her for her look.
Yeah, that's fair. And that's another critique I have with the Batman, not the look thing, but with his instantly falling in love with Catwoman in less than 48 hours. Isn't Bruce Wayne supposed to have the biggest guard and shield up in his, like, out of anybody? He's not supposed to let people in.
It's still early. It's still early.
That would make it more sense where he would be even more guarded up, that he wouldn't let you in because it's early.
That's probably why he was believing everything that, because you got to remember, like, his parents is a sensitive topic. And it's like, I don't know if it's been 2 years since his parents died.
No, his parents died when he was a child. When he was
yes.
8 or 7.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
But like, you got to think, like, now he's older. He's only into year 2 of being Batman. He's just starting to learn about the bad side, about why his parents died.
Batman Begins.
Yes.
It exists.
No, I love that movie. That movie
it exists. And that's where the take is taken. That's I'm not saying carbon copy. I'm saying that's the take of Batman and Bruce Wayne that needs to be out there. That's it. That's all I'm saying. And listen, fucking the guy Pattinson almost murdered somebody because he saw Catwoman in trouble. He literally almost murdered somebody for a woman he met less than 48 hours ago.
I have to watch that again.
I don't think I ever will. I might rewatch it for a watch along or something with people, just so I can pick apart everything.
The only thing I didn't like was his suit.
The suit was weird.
I didn't like the whole, like, you can take it apart.
It's like
that was so dumb.
A lot of people liked it. I just wasn't a fan of it. But then again, a lot of people liked Ben Affleck's suit, and I wasn't a big fan of it. I'm just not a fan of the big fat bat.
He was literally fat man. Like,
yeah, I'm not a fan of the fat bat. Why is the bat fat? That's not supposed to be fat.
That's never supposed to happen.
Never supposed to happen. But we have definitely veered off into different topics of talking movies on this sports podcast. We brought you our NFL awards. We brought you our Super Bowl predictions. We talked a little movies. We did a trivia topic. Episode 124 is in the books. But I will want to say this. We will be back later on today. Nick will be here too. We're going to be joined hopefully by some other guests because we are going to be doing our NFL fantasy football draft. It's going to be a draft party. I'm looking to start it at 8 p.m. Eastern time. The draft will start at 8:30. The draft party will start at 8 o'clock. It's going to be a fun time. Come join us. See who gets the bet. Comment in the section in the comments and see like, oh, you didn't draft the right guy. Brandon's coming. I'm coming. Okay, I got screwed out of the first year. I had a bad last year, and now I'm coming this year. I've done 5 drafts already for other leagues. I just did a draft yesterday right out of work. I won't even tell that story, but I'm coming. I'm not losing this year, Nick. I'm not fucking leaving.
I'm gonna tell you one thing though. You know why you're gonna lose? Because you have me. In most of my leagues, I played it last year. The lowest I came in was third.
All right. Third.
The lowest I came in was third.
Nick is coming. Listen, Justin was won the first year of our fantasy football.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, he did. It was me and him in the finals, actually.
That's hilarious.
I don't like to bring that up because I benched Jamar Chase in that 200-yard plus game that he was simply because Jalen Waddle was playing a weak defense that year, and I was like, Jalen Waddle, I think is going to go off.
Why couldn't you just play both?
Because I had other receivers there too. I don't remember. Listen, it was a good decision at the time ahead of what, and then it's my championship. It's my championship, Nick. I'm the uncrowned champ. Nick. Justin knows it. He knows it.
It happens.
What are you gonna do? I can't wait for the draft party. 8:30, guys. Join us Eastern time. But thank you all for joining us. If you stayed this long, which was a long one, but thank you for staying with us. If you did, give us a like, subscribe, share the content. Go follow Nick. I got the links in the description for his Twitter and his YouTube, Trophy Room Podcast. Check it out. Nick, tell them when the Trophy Room comes out, when they can see you.
Listen, man, just talk about Trophy Room real quick. Trophy Room Podcast every Thursday. Trophy Room Thursdays. Doesn't matter what time. I'm dropping every Thursday. We're up to episode 6 now. Make sure you guys go watch the first 5 episodes. Episode 10, I will have my first guest. And as long as everything goes well, it's going to be a good one. Just like all of them. But yeah, like you said, wise guys, make sure you guys go like the video, comment the video, subscribe to the channel. Same thing, Trophy Room. Like, subscribe, follow, all that. And like I like to say on my show, man, tell your friends.
Tell your friends and family. Your acquaintances, strangers walking past on the street. Just hey,
Wise guys, trophy.
Wise guys, we outside with a bev. But I have been Brandon Capozziello. That was Nick Perez. Episode 124 is in the books, and as Justin always says, stay classy. Late is gay is.